Fire for your mind. Kosher Clinician. Hit that like button and share this stream if you're not a beta male.
This soil would hold you forever.
Some roots are meant to travel, sir. Feels like they're finally growing.
Some white women both eroticized and slandered black men. For instance, in 1731, one white woman declared her desire to engage in sexual relations with a well-endowed black man. However, when caught in such relationships, these women would accuse the black men of corrupting their white womanhood. Historical records show that if accused, black men often faced severe punishments such as genital mutilation or even death by burning.
Those Jamaican river rafting guys are not the problem. We need to be talking about the women. I've been on the bamboo rafting excursion maybe like 3 times in my whole entire life. And I think that people really focus up on the fact that, oh yeah, well, they are, you know, where they be trying to do this to you, they be trying to do that to you. But they only do that to you if you allow it. And I think that people miss that. Like, and it's just like with any other man. If a man want to deal with you like that, then he's going to deal with you like that. So I don't understand why people are focusing more on the fact that these men are, you know, running down on these women, and they not realizing that these women is coming from the U.S., coming from all other countries to come down there and get cracked open like a can of paint by a random, okay? And I'm not even mad at it, because Jamaican men, they are like that. Like, they are, you know, one of the best people to get your self-esteem up there. Your self-confidence, you can look like shit. They're going to hype you up every single time. My thing is, if you don't allow it, you have a lot of respect for yourself, they will not even try you. You're going
BMT, you broke this story. You was the first at it. What do you know so far about this?
Yeah, so far, somebody had shared the story with me like early AM. Basically, the guy, Floyd Wallace, who was, you know, attached, he was doing a lot of travel. He got caught up doing some heinous things in Brazil, specifically in Rio de Janeiro, and it looks like he was trying to get out by going to Sao Paulo. They basically got a lot of evidence that he was messing around with minors, unfortunately, man. And it's looking real bleak for him.
Zoom TV News!
I did my research, man. I heard that it wasn't a minor, that was a baby. Like from what I understand, allegedly it was a 6-year-old kid. Is that true? What's your intel on that?
Well, that was stated in the article. That was evidence of finding it on his laptop or phone or something like that. But even if you read the article, they allude to it, the person being under 14. That's why I labeled it sicko, because that's some sick stuff, man, that nobody condones or anything like that. So it's just unfortunate. And they arrested him, and he's in jail right now.
Police in Sao Paulo arrested an American man who was sexually exploiting children in Rio de Janeiro. His detention was at a downtown hotel. He described himself on social media profiles as a sex tourist. The text then includes a series of excerpts from a video.
As soon as they entered the room, the American, identified as Floyd Wallace Jr., 29, was arrested in the Liberdade neighborhood in downtown Sao Paulo. The complete eating game. He threw himself to the ground and was handcuffed. The operation was carried out by teams from the Homicide and Personal Protection Department in support of civil police officers from the state of Rio de Janeiro days. According to information from the Child and Adolescent Police Station, the American is accused of raping and sexually exploiting several children. In conducting their inspection of the hotel room where he was lodged, the police found a significant quantity of electronic equipment, including files containing child pornography. They also seized a variety of items such as pen drives, memory cards, a notebook of a computer, multiple cell phones, some stuffed animals, a watch with an embedded camera, and various other telephone devices. At the start of December, law enforcement commenced an intelligence operation following a report from a ride-sharing driver. The driver stated that a user who had used a false name requested a ride with 2 minors whiners.
14 years old. I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17. 14 years old. This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
Today, with Congress barreling towards a vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, President Trump suddenly changing his public tune on the issue. The president writing on social media overnight, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. He continued, the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. But the post comes after Trump lashed out at so-called weak Republicans over the bill and privately applied pressure to block the vote. Last week, the White House meeting with Republican Lauren Boebert to try to convince her to remove her name from a petition that would force a vote, which could tank it entirely. Some of the women who survived Epstein's abuse releasing this video urging Congress to vote to release all the files.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadow.
The president has the power to release the documents himself at any time, but has never done so. Trump was repeatedly mentioned in Epstein documents released by the House Oversight Committee last week. Epstein writing in one email about Trump that, quote, I am the one able to take him down, though the context is not clear. The White House insists the president did nothing wrong, Trump calling it a hoax.
I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
To exclusively marry black men. We are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not a figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible black men to marry.
It's been an honor serving with you all. Autobots, roll out. We rolling.
Nanobots, transform.
She lie on them brothers, separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yelling they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that wanna say I'm his brother. Yeah, she lie on them brothers. 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 So all going on in your man, you don't get it. And using your women as splitters, then hit us. Put you in place and our family ruined. Target your boys, you don't see what they doing. We gotta beat them, you wanna join them, we just leave them. Your feminist feminism, more like treason. Politics, you don't even follow leaders. First is master, probably cause of your teasers.
God is white, isn't it obvious?
Well, that is obvious, but we don't know if it's obvious that God is white. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Jesus did not have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the images of Jesus that are on prison walls and churches throughout the world are not historically correct, because history teaches us that Jesus was born in a region where the people had color. There's proof in the very Bible that you ask us to read in Revelation, 1st chapter, verse 14 and 15, that Jesus had hair like wool and feet the color of brass.
Just what are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm proving to you that Jesus was not, and I might quote one of our Indian brothers, he was not a pale face.
This would have been a dick, you didn't believe it. You reap the benefits from your achievements. Penitentiary, all we get is deleted. But God on our side, baby, we gon' beat it. She lie on them brothers. She lie on them brothers.
I'm big on you. I'm the biggest, baddest.
Separate uncles and nephews and cousins and try to pin us against mothers. How you a woman but ain't got a man for protection, but you undercover? How do you think that we suffer? Thought we were sisters and brothers. Now you get birthed in the gutter. When they rap, they the same ones that cut you. Be the same ones who yelling they love you. Be the same ones who calling me nigga. After that, wanna say I'm his brother. She loud the brothers. 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 She loud the brothers.
Breaking all these black men with what? And they don't give a fuck. Yeah, this man hit me with fucking grabbed a rock and he hit me in my fucking face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just fucking watch. Y'all see that shit? Y'all see that shit? What do y'all do? I want y'all to be a man. I want y'all to be a man and fucking do something. Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face.
Roll out. Roll out. Roll out.
Fire for your mind. Kosher clinician.
If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't seven, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.
All right, guys, if y'all can hear me, hit 1. If you can hear me, hit 1. We're going to get into it, guys. I'm not going to be before you guys long. And I'm going to say it in advance, guys, happy holidays, happy New Year's Eve. Doesn't feel like Christmas, but I know it's here. And it's a pleasure to be in the land of the living. A lot has been going on this year. A lot of trauma, a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of brokenness, to say the least. Testing. All right, so a lot of different things have been going on, guys, to say the least. But we're gonna get deep into it, guys, on today. Not gonna be before you guys long, and we're gonna talk about this Floyd Wallace fiasco and the hypocrisy guys, that America have concerning black male agency and also men living their lives on their own terms. You might ask the question, why did the kosher clinician term it I'm Floyd Wallace? Because the same thing that people overly generalize and associate black men with is just a foretelling of what they have done or actually are doing themselves. You know, the passport bro concept has been very polarizing, to say the least. The man on the cover, Floyd Wallace, actually disassociated himself from the passport bros. But ironically, his behavior is complicit with the behavior he said that he didn't want to be associated with. And so people hate the passport bros because the passport bros symbolizes a form of male empowerment. The passport bros symbolizes the right to self-determination. The passport bros symbolizes male autonomy. The passport bros symbolizes a thought process that's not necessarily predicated in some unified organization, but it's just an expression of men saying, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to finally live my life on my own terms, and I'm going to do what's best for me. It's basically saying I don't have to ask the matriarchy or the gynocracy for their opinion to live my life out on or into perpetuity. And that's a fundamental problem because, once again, guys, I've told you before in the past that power has never conceded to anything without a struggle. And it never have, and it never will. But this whole concept with the passport bros is a false equivocation of truth. It's a false equivocation of truth. And in that false equivocation, people cannot decipher the difference between ex-tourism versus ex-districts. There are passport bros that go to ex-districts, but every brother that goes to ex-districts are not necessarily looking for X. However, there are folks that go to cities and provinces that where X is illegal, and that in itself is X tourism. But see, some folks are extremely slow. They don't know the difference between X tourism and expats going to X districts for a myriad of reasons. Many men go to X districts for a myriad of reasons, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get deep into it. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for the 10 that are watching. We're going to have a very powerful conversation because the people that are denigrating Floyd Wallace, and that Floyd Wallace is complicit in his behavior, Floyd Wallace deserves to go to jail. Floyd Wallace deserves to suffer the recompense of his ignorance and also the recompense of his error. But what should not ever happen is that these idiotic people falsely equivocating any man with a passport that traveled with ex-tourism versus men that's going to different parts of the world for either travel, the potentiality of a wife, or they might go into ex-districts where the women solicit them. But see, people always assume that, all black men are just going to these areas, hurting these poor girls and exploiting them. And I mean, just making up stuff, using the passport bro name as a way to justify their pathological ignorance about what the passport bro movement is. The passport bro movement was a movement that celebrated freedom and independence away from gynocratic thought and gynocratic order, because historically black men have been seen as boys, and black men historically have never had power. And so when black men began to start getting power, then it became a problem. Now there are some that say that black men shouldn't have, talked about and kept it quiet. But see, you got to understand that historically, black men have never been able to say it loud and proud that I have power. White men were able to keep it under the low because white men have always had power. What's understood don't have to be said. I'm going to say it again. What is understood does not have to be said. But you got a generation of Negroes and some women, and the biggest issue is not that the women are protesting it, but there's a lot of men that are attacking the sovereignty of black men. They don't like to see black men have agency. They don't like to see black men have sovereignty. They don't like to see black men have freedom of thought. Because white men have been traveling for years. White men have been dealing with beautiful women for years. White men have been seeing the globe for years. And that's what they've done. And so I use Trump because Trump represents powerful, rich white men that have always had access to women. Some of it was just being able to be with multiple women just for the sake of and world travel. Some of it is exploitation. I'm not here to say that Trump is complicit in anything. I don't know. It would be improper for me to say that Trump is doing something, did or doing something illegal. So I'm not going to ever say that. But I know that the computer is biased towards Trump, and I'm going to tell you why. When I was doing this thumbnail, guys, when it came down to Trump, it did not object to President Trump, me doing a montage or a concept of President Trump. But when it came down to Jeffrey Epstein, they said, well, we can't show no example of Jeffrey Epstein because it could be damaging. And so once again, I am Floyd Wallace. The people that are talking about passport bros is Floyd Wallace. The women that are talking about passport bros is Floyd Wallace. The oligarchs that might be talking about Floyd Wallace, or anybody that's talking about the passport bros, is Floyd Wallace, because once again, what Floyd Wallace did was heinous. But the world is very hypocritical, because the same thing that they're accusing passport bros of, we're not talking about the violation of children, but it's twofold. On one end is slander, and then on the other end, it's this false assumption that all men that have passports to travel are going to countries to practice what's called ex-tourism. And once again, because they are slow, they don't know the difference between ex-tourism and they don't know the difference between ex-districts. Two different things. But, slow folks always pushing propaganda. They just say stuff just to say it because, they like clicks and views. And I take umbrage with it. Because I believe that all men, white or black, should have the power to live their lives out on their own terms. But historically, especially black men, have never had the power to live their lives out on their own terms, or to live their lives out into perpetuity. And that's the problem, because white men have been traveling for years. White men have been having power to meet different women from different countries. And so the people that are wanting to talk about the passport bros and associating the passport bros with Floyd Wallace, then they are Floyd Wallace too. All of those people are Floyd Wallace. And once again, guys, I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. But in the meantime, let me look at some of these comments. Let me look at some of these comments loud and clear. If anything, this makes all the time show the hand. Yeah. So they all are Floyd Wallace, to say the least. I'm going to talk about the difference between, guys, ex-tourism, and there's a term that I created called pan-global philia. It's called pan-global philia, and pan-global philia basically means that these people go abroad just for the sake of pleasure, sexual pleasure, to say the least. It's called pan-global philia. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Because once again, we're going to show you guys the hypocrisy of those that have animus towards the passport bros and falsely equivocate the passport bros with Floyd Wallace and ex-tourism, which is, once again, a highly false equivocation. It's a highly false equivocation, and it's highly damaging, because what it does, it distorts or greatly distorts reality, and it greatly distorts the image of men, but also, more importantly, it greatly distorts the image of black men. And black men are trying to uphold their image, because historically black men have never been able to speak truth to power, and they're saying to do the things that they want to do. So let's look at the difference, guys. Let's look at the difference. Because once again, some people are very slow. A lot of folks are slow. They don't think critically. They just say stupid stuff for likes and views. And I'm going to prove my point. So once again, there is a difference between ex-tourism and ex-districts. It's a major difference. Ex-tourists are white women going to Gambia with the intent to have X with underage men, or black women going to Jamaica to have X with underage men, or areas where it's not prohibited. That's ex-tourism. If a man, white or black, goes to a district with the express purpose to solicit X, then that's ex-tourism. But ex-tourism and ex-districts are something totally different. You can go to Thailand, you can go to the Philippines, you can go to Brazil, you can go to areas where it's tolerated. And sometimes those people might come and solicit you. And you're not necessarily going to be looking for that. They are soliciting you. And so this false equivocation, once again, is dangerous, because it's not telling the truth. And what it does is spreads false media propaganda, and also it pushes false stereotypes. I'm going to talk about the top areas where ex-tourism is tolerated. So hold tight. So ex-tourism is When a person travels primarily and intentionally to purchase services, often exploiting poverty, legal gray areas, power imbalances, age, money, and citizenship. So it sounds like that Floyd was practicing ex-tourism in an area where it's loosely prohibited or loosely allowed. That's ex-tourism. But they associated ex-tourism with passport bros. And Floyd is not a passport bro, and neither was Jay Rello a passport bro. But because people love to take away black male agency, they associate everything negative with the passport bros, where the passport bros, once again, is just an ideology of men saying, I'm going to live my life out on my own terms. Passport bros mean different things to different men. Some people began to disassociate with it because they were dusty guys like passport pookies, or poop pirates that were going about causing chaos, and it made the movement look bad. So men that were blue book gentlemen and passport bros were all enmeshed with the social dialects like the Jay Rellos and the Floyds of the world. Key characteristics is that ex-tourism is the main reason for travel, as I said before. It often involves a short stay. It's high risk of exploitation, trafficking, and coercion. What they were trying to say and do, they were trying to transmit to black men and say that black men were complicit in tourism, ex-tourism, and exploitation. And they took the passport bro movement because they didn't like the power associated with the passport bro movement. And they said that all passport bros were into ex-tourism. And that was a lie. It was a lie. It always has been a lie. Are there men that go to ex-districts for travel, for fun, whatever that looks like? And some might even go just to tour the city. That's true. But then there are some men that are passport bros that go looking for remote jobs, to go live remotely due to the cost of living, due to economics. But also they might not go to a ex-district, but they might go outside of that district and trying to find a wife. But what's happened is that black men have always got an answer to what some of these goofy black men that are jealous of other black men's ability to travel and get their permission. And so we understand that some women are going to be jealous, but when you got black men trying to cause chaos and not understanding what a passport bro is, it's highly preposterous to say the least. The intent matters. If X is the purpose of the trip, it falls into ex-tourism, meaning you're going to districts where X is not allowed, where the intent, expression, and purpose to coerce, force, and abandon, and also to cause harm to poor and impoverished people. So they give this broad false equivocation of the passport bros being that, which is not true. Once again, an ex-district is red light districts are geographical zones with countries or cities where X work is legal, regulated, tolerated, or historically established. If you go to areas, some areas in Africa, you go to some areas in Brazil, you go to some areas in the Philippines, some areas in Thailand, some of those areas are regulated areas where men, white and black, and some women go to do whatever. They're adults. Here in America, you got ex-districts, like in Nevada. Examples without naming specific places: licensed brothels, window Peas, entertainment zones. The key characteristics, they exist regardless of tourism, of tourists. So these places are specially designated for men or women to go to these places for whatever reason. Ex-tourism is totally different than ex-districts. There are some passport bros that go to ex-districts, but that's not ex-tourism. It's legal. In those ex-districts, they're going there for, like I said, for a myriad of reasons. But once again, people falsely equivocate because they're either slow or they're being willfully obtuse. Ex-tourism, which is exploitative, which is what it appears that Floyd Wallace did. But the reason why I say I'm Floyd Wallace is because even if they're not doing what's called ex-tourism, they have done some of the behaviors that they're accused of passport bros of, which is traveling abroad. And actually, I would argue that some of, like the white women going to Gambia, that's ex-tourism, which is illegal. I would argue maybe some of the black women that are going to Jamaica, that's ex-tourism, which is illegal. So the ones that are having the hardest emphasis on black men are actually committing ex-tourism versus some of these men going to ex-districts, something totally different. The key characteristics that regardless, okay. And so the core difference is that the primary motive is buying ex. That's a tourist, which it many times is illegal. But ex-districts are normalized local industry. The travel intent is ex first. The ex-district is incidental or optional. So there are passport bros that go to ex-districts. They might just go to travel, but they understand why they're in those districts. It may or may not happen. Everybody that go to ex-districts are not necessarily trying to have ex. Sometimes people just going to have fun and tour the city. But black men got to always clarify themselves to people that never cared about them, which is a problem. In ex-tourism, it's often high, and in ex-districts, it varies when it comes down to power. Ex-tourists are very exploitative, and they tend to have more power. These white women that are going to Gambia, or some of these black women that are going to exploit some of these young Jamaicans, that's ex-tourism because they have more power and money, and they are exploiting those people. Hold tight. And so countries with legal or regulated ex work. The Netherlands, ex work is legal and regulated. Famous window districts, workers license health and zone apply. In Germany, these are ex districts. In Switzerland, these are legal and regulated ex districts. In Austria, these are legal and regulated ex districts. But when black men decide to travel into these areas that are legal, you got folks saying they're exploiting poor people. When many times if white men or black men, but especially black men go into ex districts, they're the ones being exploited. A lot of men have been robbed and drugged and manipulated out of their money because they're going to ex districts, something totally different than ex tourism. But once again, the slow people don't understand it. Shout out to my man Gregory Scott showing love. He says, salute, coach. It's important for us older black men to encourage the younger black men to stand firm and don't be guilt tripped. Passport bros do need to stop explaining. Yes, and I just find it very cowardly that people get scared and say, oh, I'm not going to associate with the passport bro. You don't, if you really know what a passport bro is, you don't have to worry about saying, I don't want to associate with the passport bro. You're a grown man. If you go into an ex-district versus practicing ex-tourism, that's something totally different. If you did what Floyd Wallace did, then you're practicing ex-tourism. If you go into an area without the intent of trying to coerce or manipulate somebody, then that's just an ex-district. It's legal. But you got clowns telling y'all, telling black men not to. They say that the black men are buying box. So let's look at it. Let's look at who's really buying box. If you live in America, if you take a woman on 3 dates, then you are buying box. You are taking a woman on those dates with the intent that you're going to get box at some point. That's a form of prostitution. Versus if you go in a district, it may happen or may not happen. One is quick and efficient. One is less quick and efficient. And actually in America, acculturated prostitution is worse because you might not ever get anything. And you still might take on a date and not get anything in return. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, ask Dr. Orion Taraban. Dr. Orion Taraban talked about it. And I'm going to play a video clip of him in a minute talking about the difference, because there's a lot of hypocrisy, guys. There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes down to black men and black male.
Doctor explain in less than 2 minutes why gentlemen are dead and are not coming back. Good guys are gone, and so is romance. Who killed it?
So that's the answer to the question that began this series. Where are all the gentlemen? They disappeared when the lady went extinct. And it wasn't men who killed her. Women. have proudly fought tooth and nail to escape the social restrictions that define that identity over the past 60 years. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that modern women want the best of both worlds. They want the social freedom of the prophet and the respectability of the lady. And that just doesn't make sense. Like, one person can't be both a lady and a prophet at the same time. If these designations are to have any meaning whatsoever, they
See, modern women, guys, created the passport bros. Modern women created the passport bros. The passport bro movement didn't exist in a vacuum as an affront to modern women. Modern women created the passport bros. When guys were being nice and kind and taking them on dates, they were using them. They were making the good guys wait and stringing them along while they were giving their bodies to guys that didn't even care. So guys got tired. They said, you know what, I'm ready to have my own agency to live my own life. And so if I got to go on 3 days and pay almost $500 to $600 to a woman that's giving her body away for free to other men, which is a form of prostitution, then I just might as well stack my money, save my money, and travel abroad and have some fun and go into areas if I decide in an ex-district area, if I decide to go where I know I'm going to be guaranteed some cash versus going on these dates with American women when I'm not going to get anything at all. And that's the hypocrisy when you have some of these clowns trying to call out passport bros and they don't even understand that, and they're not even fundamentally calling out others for the same bad behavior. You can call out a passport bro for going abroad and traveling to meet different women from different areas in ex-districts, not tourism, what Floyd Wallace did. But yet, when men take women on 3 and 4 and 5 dates, if that woman is not attracted to him, she can curve him, and he's basically practicing in acculturated prostitution with the hope that he might get some cat. And many times he don't get it if he is not her select option. And so that is the hypocrisy. That is the hypocrisy. So why does America hate the passport bros and love hypocrisy? Well, it's simple. They don't want black men to have agency. And some of you black men that are cowards and keep disassociating yourself from the passport bro movement, you're actually doing what they expect you to do. They want you to go run like a coward and hide. Because, I don't want to be associated. No, you're not associating with the passport. Because the passport bro movement is not a monolith. It's men from different parts of the world that have different expressions and doing different things. That's what the passport bro movement is. Shout out to my man Gregory Scotland once again. He said that kosher, Anton Daniels has become a complete embarrassment. His attack by calling traveling men the N-word and saying F them and hating on them with so-called snow bunnies. Yeah. And look, Anton, I love Anton. He's my boy, but, I was disappointed in that comment. I was highly disappointed because these conversations, once again, when you start pushing those false narratives, then you are adding to the pathological behaviors concerning black men. Because once again, if you're going to talk about black men going abroad getting cat, then you need to talk about President Trump, because what black men are doing and going to ex-district is totally different than the association of what Floyd Wallace did, which is ex-tourism, and also what Donald Trump did, which is something totally different. So if you're going to have the veracity to talk about black men traveling, you need to have that same veracity when it comes down to Donald Trump. And I'm not saying Trump did anything, but my whole point is there's always this pernicious attack on the image of black men. It's always been. It's been ever since the exceptions of the Americas. And what Dr. Orion Taraban is saying is highly true and very highly functional. Dr. Taraban, what he's saying is right. There's no more ladies in America. but you the majority are not ladies. But you want men to pay full price and give their hard-earned money and time in a situation where they might not get anything. And then you shame them when they decide to exercise their right and travel for whatever reason. They might travel just to see the world. They might travel to hang out with friends. They might travel for remote location, or they might travel for box. But listen, I don't condone fornication. It's wrong biblically according to the Bible. But if they're going to do it, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't police grown men in their bodies. That's weird to me, man. But I understand what it is. Some black men are like slave catchers. they don't feel competent unless they're looking down their nose on other men. They got to feel like they're in power, because feeling like they're in power makes them feel good about themselves, because perhaps somewhere in the backdrop, they're insecure men. Because I don't care what men do. I don't tell other men what to do, and you definitely don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown man. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do. I don't ascribe to this, this black stuff where you got to be on code and tap dance. And I do what I want to do. I don't deal with some of these weird Negroes, man. I do what I want to do. I'm not gonna answer to anybody because I'm a grown man, and you don't have to answer to anybody.
Need to be grounded in objective phenomena. And while it's always kind of easy for a lady to become a prostitute, it's very, very difficult for a prostitute to become a lady. It is possible, like the Empress Wu, who started out as a concubine in Chinese history, but it is much more difficult than the opposite. So let's be real. The standard template for women's behavior in the sexual marketplace today is to engage in casual sex without commitment through their 20s and then settle down into marriage around 30. That is, they want to enjoy the social freedom of a prostitute for 10 to 15 years, and then they want the respectability of a lady for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that doesn't make sense to men.
Yeah, you're correct, Gregory. Yeah, Brazil is different from what I've heard, but feminism is spread not only in Brazil, it's spreading abroad. There are areas in Brazil that are traditional and family oriented, but it definitely have changed radically. It's changed radically, to say the least. But once again, I am Floyd Wallace. That's the war cry. The ones that are denigrating Floyd are actually Floyd Wallace themselves. And so once again, there is a difference between ex-tourism versus ex-districts. Most black men that travel go directly to ex-districts, sometimes knowingly and sometimes unknowingly. But rarely are the passport bros ex-tourists, something totally different. And that's why when you hear people trying to shame black men and trying to mock them and try to equate all passport bros with ex-tourism, that's slander and that's dangerous. Because basically what you're trying to do, you're trying to destroy the image of black men, and that's highly dangerous. And also it's highly disingenuous. It's highly dangerous, and also it's highly disingenuous. Highly dangerous, and also highly disingenuous, because once again, ex-districts is totally different than ex-tourism. Ex-tourism is illegal with the intent for to go places for X. That's what Jay Rello has done. That's what Floyd Wallace has done. But ex-districts may be intentional. It may not be intentional. Other countries where X work is legal or tolerated in specific zones. If you go to Japan, most of the cities in Europe, if you go, you'll go in X zones. If you go to Japan, countries where X work is legal or tolerated in specific zones, direct and it's illegal. Direct P is illegal. Adult entertainment district legally operate via loopholes. Strong zoning and licensing. And there are some areas in Japan where with loopholes it's legal. And Thailand is technically illegal, but widely tolerated and regulated informally. Well-known entertainment districts. If you go to Thailand, there are well-known entertainment districts that are ex-tourist districts. So basically, you can be touring a city, and in the process of touring that city, you might be in an ex-tourist district. But you got men that are in exless marriages. They ain't getting no intimacy. They got to work like a dog to get some form of intimacy. And then people assume that men that travel can't get women their lanes. And it's weird and stupid because that's not true. It's not true at all. There are men that are highly successful men that travel, and they were dating American women prior, but they just don't deal with them anymore because they're not feminine. They're very masculine. They're very entitled. And what guys are saying, if I'm going to spend money to go on a date, I can just take my money and save it and travel and just let my money do what it do. Mexico, laws vary by state and city. Official red light zones in some municipalities, health card systems in certain areas. Colombia is legal for adults. It's designated tolerance zones. Workers are often registered. So once again, when men travel to Thailand, Colombia, Brazil, there are zones and areas where it's legal. So that's not ex-tourism. But these idiots go and say, oh, they go and exploit those poor women. That's a lie. That's not true. It's not true at all. Some of y'all are slow. That's not true. I've spoken with guys that are well-traveled. I know some guys are well-traveled. That's not true. Actually, men that go into these areas, American gringos, they're the ones that have to be careful because they can be exploited. In a lot of ways, Americans are being exploited when they go to other countries. I just got back from San Juan, Puerto Rico with my dad and my sister. My father, my 18-year-old dad and my sisters, we all went to Puerto Rico. We went to St. Lucia, St. Martin, Barbados, St. Kitts. And when American tourists go to certain countries, they actually charge Americans more. So Americans really are the ones being exploited. They manipulate Americans all the time. And sometimes they would try to kill you for the sake of controlling power. In Brazil, selling cat is legal, but brothels are illegal. So in Brazil, they can sell cat. So how somebody exploiting somebody where it's fair exchange? But in America, you got the acculturated prostitute because you're coming to America with the assumption that you're going to be intimate with somebody, but it's not a guarantee. So you shame black men that are average, hardworking men that the women don't want anyway, and now they exercise their option to travel abroad, and it's a problem. Then you try to shame them again because it's about power and control. Countries where blank is criminalized, but red light areas exist de facto. It's the Philippines. It's illegal but tolerated in nightlife zones and strong tourism overlap, as some Dominican areas are as well. So once again, there's a false equivocation between ex-tourism versus ex-districts. I'm going to say it again for those that are slow. Ex-tourism is highly pernicious with the intent to exploit or use minors and also to exploit and more or less use what's called a power differential. That's not what passport bros do. But there are passport bros that go to different, that tour, and they may be in X districts. And while they're in those X districts, they may get involved with women in those areas, or they may or may not, come to some kind of negotiation. Or they might travel, or they might go for remote jobs, or they might go outside of those tourist districts to look for wives. But men got to always equivocate themselves to people that never equivocate themselves to them. And that's why I say they are all Floyd Wallace. The white women going to Gambia is Floyd Wallace. The black women going to Jamaica is Floyd Wallace, because that's ex-tourism. They're going with the explicit intent many times to have X with those men. That's the difference. Where a passport bro, many times they're going into X districts. And folks don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that part of the truth. They don't want to hear that part of the truth. Now, I created a term called pan-globophilia. I call it pan-globophilia. It basically means that the word philia comes from the word pleasure. These people pan the globe. Pan means across, so they go across the globe looking for sexual pleasure. It's a term called I created called pan-globophilia. They go across the globe looking for pleasure. So they're pan-globophilic. Pan-globophilia is tied to being pan-globophilic. They're pan-global sexuals. Pan-global sexuals. They go with, that's what Floyd is, and that's what Jay Rello is. Floyd and Jay Rello are pan-global sexuals. They go with the intent, whether it be in ex-tourist districts or not, to get cat. And once again, some content creators overgeneralize, or the world tend to overgeneralize passport bros or minimize black male agency because they don't want black men to have a voice, and they don't want black men to live their lives out on their own terms. And the world hates it when black men do it. Like I said, it's never a problem until the black man does it. Once again, pan-global sexual. That's what Floyd is, because that's tied to ex-tourism. That's what Jay Rello is. Overgeneralization is a false presumption that all passport bros are ex-tourists. The minimization of black male agency is that black men got to ask for permission to do things that other men or other groups don't have to ask permission for. That's how they see some of you black men. Let me tell you something. I wish a man would damn try to tell me what I'm gonna do. We would probably end up getting into a fight. I don't listen to other men. I don't tell other men what to do, and you ain't gonna tell me what to do. I wish a man would tell me at the age of 54 how to live my life. They would get their chin checked. And some of the men that are trying to tell you what to do, they're ignorant. They're incompetent. But they're trying to tell you what to do. They're trying to tell you what you should do. I respect other men for living their lives. I don't tell other men what to do. I'm not, one thing about the black community that I hate, we'll get one or two or three so-called intellectuals because they got influence, money, or claim, and then all of a sudden they know everything and they're supposed to be able to tell you how to live your life, and you're supposed to listen to them because they got power, money, or claim. There are people that got money and power and they're ignorant. They might know how to make money, but they don't know all the nuances of different dimensions of life. I'm a licensed therapist, but I don't know everything. I don't mind saying I don't know everything. But people don't want black men to have power because what it does, for a long time, black men have been framed in narrow roles to be dependent on the validation of others, confined socially, economically, and geographically, and being reactive instead of autonomous. When black men travel freely, choose where they live, or decide to build wealth, it breaks the script. Any group gaining agency outside of the expected lane tend to get pushed back. So these men are basically slave catchers. They're plantation pirates. Because in their mind, unless you ask them, because they're better than you, you're not supposed to go anywhere unless you get their permission. And once again, I'm going to show you guys that this is not consistent with the passport bros. Once again, Floyd and Jay Rillo are pan-global sexuals. And their behavior is tied to a condition that is not in the DSM-5 called pan-globophilia. They go across the globe with the express intent to get pleasure through sex. But that's not the passport bros. Because that's ex-tourism versus going to ex-districts. But people keep pushing these false narratives because they don't want black men to have power. Some people love to see black men under them because that makes them feel better. The black field hands that were part of the subjugation of black men, many times, they will actually call black men the N-word because that made them feel like they were powerful. There are black men that want to be like Mr. Cartwright, just like there are black women that want to be like Miss Cartwright. There are black men that want to be Mr. Cartwright because in their mind, white is right and white symbolizes power. And the black man is a reflection of the hatred that they see in themselves. So once again, I am Floyd Wallace. I am Floyd Wallace. And also Donald Trump is Floyd Wallace. Even though we're going to say allegedly he's Floyd Wallace. Let me say that. So let's look at the hypocrisy, guys, associated with why I say these same people that are talking about Floyd Wallace and the passport bros are either doing what Floyd Wallace did, or or worse than what they're accusing Floyd Wallace of doing. So basically, what they're accusing the passport bros of is they have done something worse than what they're accusing the passport bros of doing.
Thought this soil would hold you forever.
Some roots are meant to travel, sir. Feels like they're finally growing.
Some white women both eroticized and slandered black men. For instance, in 1731, one white woman declared her desire to engage in sexual relations with a well-endowed black man.
Think about how many times over the years black men have been exploited in slavery. Shut up, Chaos Reign has been exploited in slavery for whatever reason. Think about that, guys. Think about black men that were exploited in the past. Just like some of these white women are going to Gambia to exploit poor black men. Think about that.
However, when caught in such relationships, these women would accuse the black men of corrupting their white womanhood. Historical records show that if accused, black men often faced severe punishments such as genital mutilation or even death by burning.
Those Jamaican river rafting guys are not the problem. We need to be talking about the women. I've been on the bamboo rafting excursion maybe like 3 times in my whole entire life. And I think that people really focus up on the fact that, oh yeah, well, they are, you know, weird. They be trying to do this to you. They be trying to do that to you. But they only do that to you if you allow it. And I think that people miss that. Like, and it's just like with any other man. If a man want to deal with you like that, then he's going to deal with you like that. So I don't understand why people are focusing more on the fact that these men are, you know, running down on these women, and they not realizing that these women is coming from the U.S., coming from all other countries to come down there and get cracked open like a can of paint by a random, okay? And I'm not even mad at it, because Jamaican men, they are like that. Like, they are, you know, one of the best people to get your self-esteem up there. Your self-confidence, you can look like shit. They're going to hype you up every single time. My thing is, if you don't allow it, you have a lot of respect for yourself, they will not even try you. You're going to get on that bamboo, you're going to do what you got to do as far as the excursion is concerned, and then you're going to go home safe, sound, and in peace. Okay? They are not going to do anything that that you don't want them to do.
That's ex-tourism. Those black women were going to Jamaica with the express intent to engage in ex-tourism. And so I got Trump on the cover once again because what they have accused black men of exclusively, whether allegations are true with Trump or not, is something that, you know, powerful white men and powerful men has had power all over the years. That's why I got Trump up there, because the allegation against Trump is consistent with some form of ex-tourism. But we know that there are white women that go to Gambia and there are black women that go to Jamaica with the express intent to practice ex-tourism. White women practice ex-tourism. White women have practiced ex-tourism for years. Some black women practice ex-tourism. And rich, powerful men like Trump, that's closely associated with Epstein, it might not be, may or may not be some form of ex-tourism. But we don't talk about them at the same vigor that we talk about innocent average black men. That's my point.
I'll say that.
So her conversation is based off of the idea that there is this community of women online, as usual. Thank you, women. I love these women. I love the fact that women continue to discuss their issues openly about why they are so busted, dusted, and disgusted, because it actually allows for us to learn even more, or to use this as a jump off point to illustrate some stuff. So now, I've always kind of seen this. I thought that this was like a white woman thing largely, and of course I'm familiar with the fact that a lot of these chicks are basically going out of town to get cracked, to put it lightly. But we'll get to that in a minute. Make sure you guys.
And that's the irony that many would say, you know, about Anton calling out the passport bro. That's the irony. But nonetheless, let's keep listening.
Tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And then last but not least, I always like to link back to the content creator, so that link will be down in the description. Always like to show love, regardless of how they feel, because it's the right thing to do. You got to link back to the content creator and give them credit. But largely, a lot of these women have basically been taking girls' trips. Now, we're going to go from girls' trips, and then we're going to talk about Jamaica. The girls' trips, we know that women ain't doing no good. Ain't nothing good that come out of 9 out of 10 girls' trips, right? And I'm talking about the ones where they're basically going with their friends. Because first of all, they don't come back liking each other. Second of all, they don't come back liking each other. And third, most of the time, it's always some that's a part of the group that got took home by some random dude and then left their homegirls. They don't know.
Gambia wants old British women to stop.
Now think about these Gambian white women that are going to, that's why I say it's hypocritical to associate the passport bro movement with ex-tourism, but many times passport bros are not complicit in ex-tourism. They're just traveling where they might be in districts. Districts and tourists are something totally different. But where's the same vitriol for these white women that have been doing it, literally going to areas for the exploitation of poor black men? Or some of these black women going for that. Where's the same vigor? And we don't have the same vigor. That's why I say I am Floyd Wallace. Or the rich, white, powerful oligarchs that do the same thing. But yet, for some reason, it's okay to assail passport bros.
Coming for sex in the country. The Gambia has issued a warning to old women from the United Kingdom who flock the country to find toy boys to look elsewhere. West African country has been known in recent years for its sex-up reputation, where older British women...
That's in Gambia. British and some German women are going for ex-tourism of poor Gambian boys. But once again, where is the vitriol for that? Where are the bigger content creators calling out that, but also calling out the allegations of Trump and Epstein? Once again, rich, powerful white men have been traveling and having their fun with different ethnicities for years. Some of it maybe was tourism, ex-tourism. Some of it was just being in ex-districts. White men, once again, then broadcast it because what's understood doesn't have to be said. But black men, because they never had power, once they got the power, they were jumping up and down because they never had power.
And will typically go on holiday in search of younger men. But Gambian officials are putting a stop to this industry, having announced they want to end the habit of people heading to the country with the sole aim of just sex. Speaking on the menace, the director of the Gambia Tourism Board, Abubakar Kamara, said, and I quote, "What we want is quality tourists. Tourists that come to enjoy the country and the culture, but not tourists that come just..."
So once again, tourists to enjoy the company, the culture, and the company. And you're right, yo, RBG, it's scapegoating. That's exactly what it is. That's an ego defense mechanism called scapegoating. You're 100% correct. Black men are the scapegoats because they don't want black men to have power. But these white women have traditionally gone to Gambia, not to see the city, but to see the men and to exploit those men because they are poor. But where's the outrage? But yet they want to silence the passport bro movement, and I'm going to show you guys how fundamentally that's an issue. Hold tight.
For sex. Kamara explained that the former British colony aims to now move away from older female tourists in a bid to shift its reputation, which has previously been dubbed as a real-life tender dream for geriatrics by some. Gambia gained independence in 1965, with sex tourism making an increase in the 1990s after Thomas Cook launched budget tours and cheap flights to the destination. Young sex workers, otherwise known by locals as beach boys, have long been reported escorting older women.
Once again, the false equivocation that passport bros are ex-tourists is what they are claiming. And then also they're trying to silence men that might be in ex-districts for what they do with their money. And many times, if you deal with the typical American white woman or black woman, you're actually practicing cultural prostitution. That's the hypocrisy.
Women out of clubs to spend the night together. Most Gambian men who do work with older women in this way have been reportedly enticed into the industry by lack of jobs and low wages in the country, where they can instead earn £200 for just 1 day of work, which equals a month's salary. They are said to search the white sand beaches for older women who hail from the Netherlands, Sweden, and Germany, as well as the United Kingdom. A few of the encounters are arranged online before the women arrive.
Do you guys see the hypocrisy? Do you guys see the hypocrisy? And the lack of vigor that they have towards black men that travel versus any other group. You see the hypocrisy? If you're going to talk about the passport bros and assail the passport bros, and I understand why a lot of folks started dissing themselves with the passport bros, but in my mind, you know, you need to stand firm in what you believe in and not feel like you're complicit in anything wrong to prove a point to others. If you know you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't say, I'm going to disassociate myself with passport bros, because now you're feeding into what's called a false narrative. Because people are not thinking critically. And once again, passport bros is not the same as ex-tourists. Totally different things. Passport bros is a broad concept with different men with different intentions from different backgrounds. But we don't talk about that because the world loves to silence the freedom and the agency of black men. They want to silence it. They don't want you to have any agency. They don't want you to have freedom. The only freedom you get is the freedom they give you. And then when you break outside of that mold, then all of a sudden it's a problem. I understand why men begin to talk about being passport bros and they were proud and they were out loud, because they never had power. Dr. Glasser said that needs drive behaviors.
White baby fuck a color code. You think shot like me gonna load.
Tell me I'm lying. Most women go to Jamaica to cheat, to have an affair, to bring a man back from Jamaica to America. Tell me I'm lying.
I want a guy that is 25 or 26.
So once again, where's the same vigor? You got older women, exploiting younger men, but nothing is said. But then as soon as an older man dated a younger woman, he's a president. What Floyd did and what Jay Rello did is ex-tourism. It was ex-tourism in ex-districts. They created ex-tourism in ex-districts versus passport bros being in ex-districts, but not necessarily are ex-tourists. That's a succinct difference.
6 years old, I'll spoil you, I'll buy you all the Jordans that you want. I mean, I'll give you whatever you want for pocket money. Like, I'll put you up, I'll pay your bills, I'll do everything for you. If you want me to love you, just love shopping. I'll take you shopping all day, all night. Like, yo. And after I shop for you and stuff like that, I want you to hit me, because that turns me on. I want you to choke me. I want you to put candle fat all over me and stuff. I want you to whip me. I like the tickler too, the feathers. I don't know if any of you guys, Jamaican guys, like the tickler with the feather tickler.
But see, we don't see. Women are playing chess while men are still playing checkers. You hear what this woman is saying? But once again, why does America hate the passport bro and love hypocrisy? That's hypocrisy in its finest. That is hypocrisy, guys, at its finest. Thank you, Bossellini. Thank you, brother. That is hypocrisy, once again, at its finest. That's hypocrisy. Because once again, ex-tourism, which is illegal and exploitative, is totally different than being in districts where it's allowed and it's legal. But we don't say nothing to these white women that are exploiting black men, poor Gambians or poor Jamaican men. We don't say nothing to them because, once again, it's never a problem till the black man does it.
And you go, but anyway, Yeah, I'll shop for you. I'll take care of you. I'll give you whatever you want. I want a Jamaican to spoil because I'm a Jamaican and I want to spoil a Jamaican. You can bag my face and take care of the rest. But yo, I want to spoil you, baby. Whatever you want. You can have my card.
Now I want to show you guys something else. I'm going to show you guys once again the difference between, I'm going to go right back to it again and explain the difference between ex-tourism versus ex-districts. Once again, ex-tourism is illegal. Ex-tourism is illegal. Shout out to, let's learn Spanish. Shout out to that brother. Ex-tourism is illegal, and ex-districts, it's not illegal in part. In most part, it's not illegal. Ex-tourism is exploited with the intent to destroy and to have a power differentiation over poor people or children or groups that are more or less under some form of crisis. But ex-districts are where some passport bros go for pleasure, relaxation, for touring the cities, for meeting wives outside of those districts, but also for some go for pay for play. That's a district. So once again, the broad overgeneralization is slander. It's slander towards black men. And white men have been doing it for years. But Jay Rello, once again, was practicing ex-tourism. One could argue that Jay Rello was practicing ex-tourism. And that's called, he's what's called a pan-global sexual. Pan-global sexual, which practices a concept called pan-global philia. Pan-global philia is tied to being a pan-global sexual. They go across the globe with the explicit intent to get pleasure through sex. That's what the intentions are. And so to you guys that's saying, I don't want to associate with the passport bros, well, you need to explain your argument better, because being a passport bro is not an ex-tourist. Ex-tourist and being in ex-districts is something different. You're not doing nothing illegal. Many times, black men in ex-districts are being targeted. They're being targeted with scopolamine. They're being targeted through exploitation. Some of them have actually been killed, to say the least. Greg Wisconsin Kosher, see, I respect you, A Peaceful Life, Andre Theo, and Dr. Dunn, because you guys speak up for productive men. You all don't cower. You can't cower, man. Masculine men don't cower. I've never been the kind of man to go along to get along, man. I'm my own man. If I had to walk by myself, I'd be my own man. I'm not going to let another man tell me what to do. I don't want your money. I don't need your claim. Listen, I would rather die as a man with dignity than to tap dance and be part of some kind of political system where I'm tap dancing and kissing people behind. We can have a divergence of opinion, but I got all my stuff from the mud. I'm an accomplished man. I'm highly educated. I'm still trying to grow this YouTube channel. I'm going to grow it at some point. But if I never grow YouTube, I don't care. I'm not going to compromise who I am as a man trying to damn fit in. I ain't trying to fit in with nobody at this stage in my life. You're not going to tell me what to do because you're not that important to tell me what to do. The difference between me and a lot of men, I'm a free thinker, but also I'm a critical thinker. Most people are not critical thinkers. Some people get on YouTube for clicks and likes, and they'll say anything. I'm not going to do that. Do I want to be successful on YouTube? Yes. But am I going to strive to have ethics? I'm going to strive to have ethics. So that's the right thing to do. It's tempting, but that's the right thing to do. So once again, pan-global sexual is what Floyd and Jay Rello is. They're pan-global sexuals. Pan-global sexuals, they have a condition called pan-global philia. I created that term. And when you hear me talk in the future about the passport movement, there's a stark difference between pan-global philia versus ex-tourists. And you're right, we're free men. You don't have to answer to anybody for nothing. You're a grown man. I'm not going to tell another grown man what to do with his body. That's between him and God. If he's fornicating in ex-districts, then that's his right. Shout out to Marie St. Blanc. Yes, keep your ethics, coach. Interesting topic. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am. But that is the succinct difference between a passport bro versus those that are complicit in ex-tourism. Black men are sovereign men. You don't have to answer. You ain't got a damn bow down to no other black man. Ain't no other black man got a right to tell you how to live your life. And with the same vigor that they attack you, you should have the same vigor in the response. But some of you say, oh, I'm not going to be associated with the passport bros. Well, why not? You ain't doing nothing illegal. Now, if you're doing what Floyd did or what Jay Rello did, then you should disassociate yourself. But the crazy thing is, Floyd was doing the thing that he accused the passport bros of. That's how hypocritical it is. So let's look at President Trump. Once again, I'm not saying President Trump was complicit in any crime. But let's be real. White men with money and power has had women for years. It ain't enough for white men with money and power to go to X districts and also to get cat. They've been doing it for years. White men have been passport bros or passport gentlemen for years. They've been doing it for years. But it's a problem when the black man does it. It's always a problem when black men try to exercise their freedom. Black men got to always ask permission from the field hands to tap dance for black women and also for white men. They got to ask for permission. Oh, boss man, can I go to Brazil? Can I go travel and meet other women? Because I'm paying for box. Because what they don't understand, guys, is this. Black men are highly venerated. Now, that man in the middle would be my son, man. He would be a young coach. That would probably be my son if I had a boy. That's what my son probably would look like. But white men historically have been the most powerful as it relates to power. White men have always had power. Trump got power. But some of those white men with power are Floyd Wallace. Because they have been, the allegations against Trump is complicit in the exploitations of women. I don't know 100%. So once again, I'm not saying Trump did this. I'm not saying he did it. But those are allegations, just like there are allegations with Jay Rello. Shout out to my man Bossolina. He said, "You are speaking too much truth. Refreshing to hear someone speak up and not cower. If I cover this topic, this is the route I would take unapologetic." No doubt, man. That's what you need to do. When you know you're doing something, you're not doing nothing illegal, when Jezebel was coming against the prophets of God, there was one by the name of Jehu that sounded the trumpet, and Jehu never cowered. He just stood firm in his convictions. But what Jezebel and those that want to control black men do, they will have false allegations, because the Bible said that Lucifer is the accuser of the brethren, so that you'll run and run in fear. You don't have to run in fear. You don't have to run in fear when you know what you're doing, what's right. But historically, white men have always been seen as the most powerful, even though they might not look as good as other ethnicities. Because they got money and status, white men are seen as the most powerful. But the most desired many times are black men. As I told you, y'all saw the clip a minute ago, black men are, whether it's true or not, are seen as being very masculine. Some associate black men with being hyper-aggressive. They associate black men with being more dominant in the bedroom or having a bigger phallus. And they say that black men tend to be more attractive because they exude truer masculinity. That's some black men. I'm not saying the white men don't have it as well, but white men are normally seen as more powerful because of money and status. Black men, a lot of times, are the most desired when it comes down to sexual rigor, sex appeal. And I would say that Asian men are probably the least desired or the most neutral. Some see Asian men as the least desired, and some see Asian men as being more neutral. But trust and believe, where white men might have the power and status, black men got the masculinity, and they're more sexually desirable for some, for many.
when you date a woman and she may be a potential wife, it's a competition thing all the way. I can't take it no more.
They feel propped up because they feel more beholden to the government. And then their man comes second. That's why they figure that they're strong, independent, don't need no man because they have the government.
Because the men are failing us, to be honest. Guys thinking about themselves and they'll think about you after you react.
You don't hear anything about being good wives and all this other stuff. What you hear is you're strong and you independent. You can do it on your own. You got black girl magic, black girl rock, but you ain't said nothing about black family.
My mother is like what they consider to be the strong black woman. I feel like I projected that onto the guys that I dated.
Ladies have no idea how stiff their competition really is. You have no clue how black men are viewed in the rest of the world. We are the #1 most sexually desired man on the face of this planet.
They would call Jesus Dusty if he was here living in America because of the gross narcissism that a lot of our women have.
I want to send a special shout out to this brother. He was so kind, man. He hit me in the head this morning. And if you're listening to Wall Report, man, I really appreciate it, man, for your kindness, your unwavering support of my channel. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to do a lot of different things. But I do still want to be unapologetically masculine. Do I want to grow on YouTube and make money? Yeah. You don't want to just work hard, man, and don't get money. I don't do YouTube for free because it's part of my part-time job. I am a licensed therapist, but I do want to do well. I didn't get in this business to be average, man. I want to be successful, but I want to also strive to be ethical too when I can. But the #1 sponsor, hold tight. The #1 sponsor, this brother blessed me this morning, is the Wall Report. And he hit me in the head, guys. The Wall Report hit me in the head big time, man. I'm forever grateful. And so, guys, special shout out to the Wall Report and also Gregory Scotland as being the #1 sponsors of the stream. But the Wall Report, because he blessed me earlier today, is being the #1 sponsor. So shout out to the Wall Report as he is the #1 sponsor of the stream. The Wall Report, guys, hit me in the head with $120. Shout out to the Wall Report for that $120 super chat. Shout out to the Wall Report.
It's the money.
Shout out to the Wall Report for that $120 super chat. He's the #1 sponsor of the stream. But once again, the most powerful have always been white men, the most desired black men, the most neutral are Asian men. That's what some would say. Black men have always been seen as sexually astute, masculine, attractive, dominant. So I'm not saying white men don't exude that as well, but white men have always been seen as the most powerful because they've always had the money and the status. But there are some white men that are intimidated with the myth that black men are bigger, more well endowed than them. And to the point, if their woman get with a black man, they don't feel like they can compete because they're scared that black man has blacked his woman out. They don't want to have their white wife, their white girlfriend been blacked out. So they say, I can't come behind the black man. Some of it's racism, but they say, I can't come behind the black man because she's been blacked out. I can't deal with the anaconda. So they don't want to deal with the black man because of that. But once again, shout out to those men. Also, guys, I'm going to show you something else about what I think the Passport Bro movement is. Because once again, you keep hearing a lot of different things about what the Passport Bro movement is. It's not what people think it is, but it's just false equivocation to the point that people want to disassociate themselves because, in my mind, they're cowards to some degree. You ain't got to disassociate yourself from nothing if you know you're doing what's right. You ain't doing nothing wrong. Why do you care? Well, I don't care what other. At 54, you think I care about what other men think? I could care less what other men think. As long as you style in my face, as long as you don't get in my face, because if you get in my face, you might get this work. But I don't care about what no other man think. I don't tap dance about no other man. I'm my own man. Always have been my own man. I'm gonna die my own man. My personality is too strong to be damn tap dancing and doing what other men want me to do. I'm not doing that. I do what I want to do. I don't deem too many men as brilliant as me. I respect most men, but I bow to none. Are there men smarter than me? Yes, but I know what my worth is, so I ain't tap dancing to nobody. But this is what the passport bro ideology is, guys. This is what it is fundamentally. Shout out to the Tar Heel State. And shout out once again to the Wall Report. The passport bro movement is an ideology. It's a way of life. It's about male sovereignty. Male sovereignty means that black men, white men, all men can live their lives on their own terms. They ain't got to ask for no permission because God made man first. You ain't got to ask your mama for permission. You ain't got to ask your girlfriends or your sisters or your wives or nobody for no permission. You do what you want to do. That's what men do. Real men do what they want to do. Masculine men don't ask nobody for no permission. Oh, y'all don't care about going to Thailand. Y'all don't care about going to, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm a grown man. I ain't got to ask you get your permission to go and travel anywhere. And so this whole thing about the passport bro movement has been improperly truncated. Once again, passport bro is an ideology. It's a way of life. It's about male sovereignty and male empowerment. Demon behavior is not passport bro. And that's what Floyd and Jay Rello is doing. But see, once again, the idiots always falsely associate passport bro with ex-tourism. They'll take the worst of the worst and give a broad overgeneralization, a broad false equivocation of what the passport bros are. When in actuality, that's not the passport bros. Because the passport bro is more or less, it's a frame of mind with men from different backgrounds with different intentions. Just like black people are not monolithic. I don't associate with some of these dusty black Negroes. When we were in Africa, we were not monolithic. Indians are not monolithic. Indians in America were not monolithic. White people are not monolithic. So, but somehow all black men, all black folks are monolithic. Some of these white conservatives say, oh, your own people sold you into slavery. No, that's not true. That's not true. You're making a false assumption that all black folks in Africa were tied together and they were unified. That's not true. That's not true. I don't associate with dusty Negroes. I don't deal with them. I try to deal with progressive black men where we might have difference of opinion, but they got something that I can benefit from. But these dusty Negroes, I don't deal with them. I would never deal with Jay Rello or Floyd. I would never deal with them. But somehow people say, oh, we brothers. No, we're not brothers, man. If we was in Africa, you wouldn't be my brother. You wouldn't be my brother in Africa. If I was in Africa, you wouldn't be my brother. Because I was from a whole different tribe. So I wouldn't even deal with them, man. But see, once again, the world, they love the good lies. They love the good lies. When Kevin Samuels, guys, was before he passed away, Kevin Samuels was telling black men to get their passports and travel. And Kevin at one point was trying to bring black folks together, but Kevin realized that no, it ain't worth saving these heifers, man. There are a few good sisters left, and many times the good sisters are quiet. But Kevin was like, you know what? No, it ain't worth wasting your time on fallow ground. So Kevin was more or less saying, stop believing the good lies and get your passport. and get you a wife. Don't be over there whoremongering all the time. But if y'all whoremongering, I ain't got nothing to do with it. That's between you and God. I don't tell men what to do with their penis, man. But once again, passport bros is an ideology. It's a way of life. It's about male sovereignty, meaning men can live their lives on their own terms. And it's about male empowerment. Men are empowered to travel, explore, to find their wives, to make business connections, and to do what's best for them without the constraints of feeling compelled to do what the masses want them to do, and also using them in an unhealthy ego defense mechanism called scapegoat. Demon behavior is not a passport bro. Demon behavior is not a passport bro. Shout out to my man, Turkish Tyrone. He said, bro, coach, thank you for standing up for black men. On BMT, I said, black passport bro equals euphemism for straight black American men. Yes, sir. I hope black men see as a psychological warfare and image destruction that it really is. Yes. They don't want black men to have sovereignty. They want black men to be quiet, have overseer Negroes that tell them how to think and do because they got money or power. And the buffer class Negroes, some of these buffer class elites, and not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. I agree. Gregory Scotland said, also some men that because they have become wealthy, that makes them cool or above the rest of everyone else. That you're supposed to build your life the way they did. Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm not doing that. Listen, I make decent money. I make 6 figures as a licensed therapist, and I'm trying to grow my channel, but I'm not going to tap dance and compromise for nobody. I'm going to do what I want to do. If people don't want to associate with me, that's fine. I'm not going to be the damn one tap dancer at this stage of my life and Bojangling. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to let nobody tell me what to do at this stage of my life. You think I care about what other men think at this stage of my life? I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you don't associate with me. I don't care. As long as you don't get in my face, because you get in my face, you might get your chin checked. As long as you don't get in my face, because just because I'm a therapist, I'm still a man. I'm still a man. Don't think just because I'm a therapist, I'm a sucker, because you can get your chin rocked if you get in my face. I'm going to show you guys some, guys, because the good lies is destroying a lot of black men, is destroying the image of black men. Let's look at President Trump. And once again, guys, I'm not saying that Trump did anything, because a lot of black men voted for Trump as well as I did too. I'm not saying Trump did anything.
I was 14 years old. I was 6.
This is not an indictment on President Trump. I'm not here to indict Trump. I don't know if he did it or not, but my point is, Trump is, if the accusations are true, then Trump is Floyd Wallace. And if that's the case, the same people that call out black passport bros and men that are traveling, you need to call out Trump with the same vigor. You need to call out white men with the same vigor. White powerful men like Epstein. Do podcasts and shows talking about white men and how they're causing chaos. But see, they're not going to do that, because it's easier to pick on the black man, because to see the black man as being powerless. They won't deal with powerful white men that way because they're scared of the repercussions. But it's easier to pick on black men because black men is a reflection of their internal struggles they see in themselves. They see black men as a projection of the internal struggles that they see in themselves. And many times they don't see themselves as being anything worth having any kind of vigor for. So once again, white women that go to Gambia is Floyd Wallace, ex-tourism. Black women that go to Jamaica is ex-tourism. Most passport bros are not ex-tourists. They're expats that might be in ex-districts that are legal in many parts. Many parts they are legal. And many times the black men are the ones getting exploited. The women aren't getting exploited. They're actually trying to exploit the men. From the conversation I've had with men, to the point many are losing their lives to being scoped to death.
16 years old.
I was 16.
17. 14 years old. This is me.
This was me.
This is me.
When I met Jeffrey Epstein.
Today, with Congress barreling towards a vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, President Trump suddenly changing his public tune on the issue. The president writing on social media overnight, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. He continued, the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. But the post comes after Trump lashed out at so-called weak Republicans.
Oh, yeah. I believe that, Gregory. I believe a number of women and men unsubscribe themselves because you were strong. Yeah, I know. I understand. I know that's the risk that I take. And like I told you, Gregory, it's hard, man, because you want to keep your subscribers and make them happy, because really content is about the subscribers. So I understand that. But how much of yourself do you compromise for the sake of keeping the subscriber? That's the dangers to it. And I've told you, Gregory, before, doing this business is hard, man, because, you know, it's just in my personality to speak out loud, man. It's part of my nature. I'm going to say what I want to say. I know it gets me in trouble sometimes. I know about YouTube politics, but I think you're right. That's why some did unsubscribe. I agree with you, man, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to the Pookie and Ray Ray show. Salute to that brother. He said that I think a key reason why a number of women and a few men unsubscribe from their channel because you were strong, consistent in your message about men traveling. Yeah, why not be consistent, man? I know that YouTube is about numbers and, you know, playing the game and saying what you need to say. I get that. If I wanted to, I could compromise. Have I been tempted? Yeah, nothing wrong with being tempted. But I try to stay the course, man. I strive to.
Republicans over the bill and privately applied pressure to block the vote. Last week, the White House meeting with Republican Lauren Boebert to try to convince her to remove her name from a petition that would force a vote, which could tank it entirely. Some of the women who survived Epstein's abuse releasing this video urging Congress to vote to release all the files.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadow.
The president has the power to release the documents himself at any time, but has never done so. Trump was repeatedly mentioned in Epstein documents released by the House Oversight Committee last week. Epstein writing in one email about Trump that, quote, "I am the one able to take him down," though the context is not clear. The White House insists the president did nothing wrong, Trump calling it a hoax.
They're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party.
And even if the House does vote tomorrow to release the files, it still has to go to the Senate. And now there is also a new catch. The president ordering a brand new investigation into Democrats associated with Jeffrey Epstein, which could provide the administration legal cover from releasing the files down the line.
Here's another example. Also among the latest batch of documents is an email stating that Trump traveled numerous times on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. The sender's name of the email has been redacted. However, the title is listed as Assistant U.S. Attorney, Southern District of New York. The email reads in part this: "For your situational awareness, wanted to let you know that the flight records we received yesterday reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported."
So once again, guys, rich, powerful white men have done the same things that they're accusing Floyd Wallace of doing. Not excluding Donald Trump, not excluding wealthy white men, but once again, black men that travel are always associated with ex-tourism because they don't want black men to have any power. My point is, if you're going to castigate black men to the passport bros, they usually castigate Donald Trump. Do podcast blasting Donald Trump, calling him weak, because once again, these are allegations of Donald Trump. But once again, they do it because black men are seen as weak, and black men are easy targets.
Or in a parenthetical, or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. In particular, he's listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996, including at least 4 flights on which Maxwell was also present. He's listed as having traveled with, among others, and at various times, Marla Maples, his daughter Tiffany, and his son Eric. On one flight in 1993, he and Epstein are the only 2 listed passengers. On another, the only 3 passengers are Epstein, Trump, and then 20-year-old, and that 20-year-old's name has been redacted. The email continues, on 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers, respectively, were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case.
Wait, 2 of the passengers on a flight that Trump and Epstein were on?
A flight that Trump and Epstein were on.
Would be 2 possible witnesses in a Maxwell case?
In a Maxwell criminal case. The context here is this email is from January 2020. So again, Trump Department of Justice, and per this email,
that's before Maxwell was tried.
Correct. That is part of that investigation. So it goes on. We've just finished reviewing the full records, more than 100 pages, a very small script, and didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road.
All
So
right,
again,
John.
that's the assistant U.S. attorney saying we don't want to be caught off guard by this.
So once again, shout out to the Wall Report for being the #1 sponsor. And once again, guys, I'm doing this to prove the cognitive dissonance that many have towards black men, but also the Passport Bro movement. To those that are cowering because the Passport movement, you don't be associated with it, then you need to closely examine what the Passport Bro movement is. You don't have a reason to cower and to disassociate yourself if you understand what the movement is really about. All Passport Bros are not the same. Never have been the same. It's like all black folks are not the same. But once again, Floyd, guys, got in trouble. There are allegations about him. And shout out to my man Dre from Love Crossing Borders. Good brother. Got nothing but love and respect for him. He's an excellent content creator. He did this montage for me. Thank you, Dre, for being so kind and expeditious, man, and getting this to me. And we're going to review this. And guys, I'm coming back with another show called The Plantation Pirates. We're going to have a live panel for that particular show. So I want you guys to tell me, and this live show coming up soon, why do you think so many black men struggle with black men having agency and also having freedom? Let's get into these allegations about Floyd, and let's look at it.
BMT, you broke this story. You was the first at it. What do you know so far about this?
Yeah, so far, somebody had shared a story with me like early AM. Basically, the guy, Floyd Wallace, who was, attached, he was doing a lot of travel. He got caught up doing some heinous things in Brazil, specifically in Rio de Janeiro, and it looks like he was trying to get out by going to Sao Paulo. They basically got a lot of evidence that he was messing around with my.
Now, once again, Floyd is an ex-tourist. Now, Floyd said Floyd said recently when he was with this guy named Tom Long, the Chung, that he's not a passport bro. But see, Floyd, your sins are finding you out, Floyd, because you try to disassociate yourself from the passport bros. But what you were doing is the behaviors that you were trying to disassociate yourself. What you were doing, Floyd, are the behaviors that you were trying to disassociate yourself from. And that's hypocrisy, Floyd. That's hypocrisy. I pray to God that you didn't do what they accused you of doing. Because I used to work in prison. And if you're a chomo in prison, you need to go ahead and get ready and say, near my God today. I'm going to pray for you that hopefully you didn't do it, man. I pray to God you didn't do it. But if you did do it, because Floyd has an extensive track record, guys, of criminal behavior. Floyd has an extensive track record of criminal behavior. But I'm going to pray that he didn't do it. Because if he did do it, I'm going to say, woe be unto him. Woe be unto Floyd if he did do it, man. I pray to God that he didn't do it.
Unfortunately, man, it's looking real bleak for him.
Zoom TV News!
I did my research, man. I heard that it wasn't a minor, that was a baby. Like from what I understand, allegedly it was a 6-year-old kid. Is that true? What's your intel on that?
Well, that was what's stated in the article. That was evidence of finding it on his laptop or phone or something like that. But even if you read the article, they allude to it, the person being under 14. That's why I labeled it sicko, because that's some sick stuff, man, that nobody condones or anything like that. So it's just unfortunate. And they arrested him, and he's in jail right now.
Police in Sao Paulo arrested an American man who was sexually exploiting children in Rio de Janeiro. His detention was at a downtown hotel. He described himself on social media profiles as a sex tourist. The text then includes a series.
Once again, what Floyd was doing is what white women that go to Gambia is doing, what some black women going to Jamaica is doing. That's ex-tourism. I will argue that most passport bros are not ex-tourism. They're not. So you don't have to disassociate yourself from the passport bros. Many, it just basically means black men that are tired of BS in America, they're traveling. And if they go into districts where they're having fun, then so be it. But a lot of those men going into districts, they are getting exploited too.
Excerpts from a video.
As soon as they entered the room, the American, identified as Floyd Wallace Jr., 29, was arrested in the Liberdade neighborhood in downtown Sao Paulo. Today, he eating game. He threw himself to the ground and was handcuffed. The operation was carried out by teams from the Homicide and Personal Protection Department in support of civil police officers from the state of Rio de Janeiro days. According to information from the Child and Adolescent Police Station, the American is accused of raping and sexually exploiting several children. In conducting their inspection of the hotel room where he was lodged, the police found a significant quantity of electronic equipment, including files containing child pornography. They also seized a variety of items such as pen drives, memory cards, a notebook, a computer, multiple cell phones, some stuffed animals, a watch with an embedded camera, and various other telephone devices.
Now, God, this is highly incriminating. This is highly incriminating. This is highly incriminating. Highly incriminating, guys. This is highly incriminating. Yes, highly incriminating, man. Yeah.
At the start of December, law enforcement commenced an intelligence operation following a report from a ride-sharing driver. The driver stated that a user who had used a false name requested a ride with two minors, whiners. During the ride, the man spoke with the children who said they were going to meet an older man who didn't speak Portuguese. The girls couldn't explain how they knew him. That's when the civil police were contacted. On December 18th, the police identified the user who had requested another ride with four underage girls. During monitoring, agents identified...
And the crazy thing is, guys, that Floyd has had extensive criminal history with the police when he was in America, man. I pray that this is not true. I pray this is not true. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that this is an attempt to make black men look bad and Floyd is just a scapegoat? I don't know. I'm not saying it's true, but what do you guys think? Once again, the information or the evidence is definitely incriminating Floyd, guys, to say the least.
That the American had traveled to Sao Paulo the previous Saturday and was planning to flee the country. This is where the teams established a perimeter to prevent his escape. A temporary arrest warrant was served for the crimes of rape of a vulnerable person and facilitating the sexual exploitation of children. His passport was also seized. The investigation also revealed that the criminal had self-identified as a sex tourist on social media profiles. According to the civil police, Floyd is a U.S. citizen and has a channel on a video platform where he posts videos of himself resisting police approaches and being arrested in various states of his native country. The foreigner has a criminal record in more than 3 U.S. states.
And that's the most damning thing about this whole Floyd situation, is that he has a criminal record. I didn't know Floyd had a criminal record. Floyd didn't look like he was capable of doing such things, because he appeared to be somewhat socially awkward. But I'm going to do a show, guys, coming up. It's going to be a live. We're going to have a live panel discussion. I want to hear from the men about, is the Floyd Wallace situation used as a mechanism to scapegoat passport bros? Are they using the passport bro movement as a scapegoat based on what Floyd Wallace has done? I'm going to have a live show, guys. I want you guys to mark this down, coming up soon. Might even have Peace with Life on the show. Him and I, we talk about it. And they talk about male agency, male sovereignty, and how this is another black eye, because they don't want black men to have freedom.
States for crimes such as resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, and assaulting a police officer. The combined sentences could reach 34 years in prison. Investigations continue to identify and locate other possible individuals involved in the scheme, as well as to determine if there are new victims.
Letitia Mean is in front of the federal police, which is investigating, right? and his arrest, where his arrest was made. Now searching for other members here in Brazil because this gang is international, right, Leticia?
Yes, William. And the police also want to know how many victims were targeted by this man, this 29-year-old criminal. The information we have is that he is here at the federal police headquarters in São Paulo, an investigation together with the civil police of Rio de Janeiro, because that's where these victims were targeted, right? The first identified victims, which we covered in this report, were alerted to the authorities by a rideshare driver about these teenage girls who were going to meet this man. They said they didn't have much information about him, that he was a foreigner who didn't speak Portuguese, and this raised an alert among the police at the apartment. Our first live report was in front of the apartment, a kind of hotel, a lodging platform where he was staying in São Paulo. The police believe that in recent days he had been using this location as an escape route to return to the United States. Everything was very well planned. He already knew when he should post all this so that the police here in Brazil wouldn't find him. According to the investigation, he was even being financed to commit all these crimes here. Now, the objective of the proceedings...
And this is a scary part. He was being financed to commit these crimes. So that goes back to what somebody, Ham 14 said. You got to ask yourself, how was he making money over there too? Too many people going abroad with no money. Yeah, man. And I don't know, look, he was making money because they said people were financing him. So was Floyd being used as a crash dummy to push illegal behavior with minors? It's possible. It's possible that they use Floyd as a crash dummy, but it's a strong possibility that Floyd might get off these charges too. If he got people use him as a crash dummy in powerful positions. But time will tell.
Police, the federal police, the São Paulo civil police, and also the Rio de Janeiro civil police, William, is to count the number of victims and also listen to these families, and also we will continue to follow up, William.
Thank you very much for the information. Key role, isn't it, when police forces collaborate? That has been very effective, right? Increasingly, Willen and the police are integrated, you see? You start an investigation in one state and finish it in another. This partnership is very important for combating organized crime. As in this case here, he's in jail and can provide information to other criminals who are in Brazil participating in this sex tourism, which is what he even declares himself to be doing on social media, right? Yeah.
If everything is proven to be true, because it's all alleged at this point.
Wow, Crypto said that H know they found porn with him with a 6-year-old child. That's disgusting. That is disgusting, man. If this jackass did what they said he did, he deserved to damn rot in prison, man. Because if that's the case, Crypto AI, he's not going to make it out of Brazilian prison. Like I said, I was a CEO for 7 years, man. For 2 years and 7 years Department of Juvenile Justice. And if you're a chomo, you're going to have a hard life in prison, man. Yeah, you're going to have a hard life if you're a chomo. Also, the mother was selling her daughter. And you know what? If that's the case, then the mother needs to be in jail too. Because that's sick. But that goes back to a lot of times, you know, people are always trying to denigrate black men. Rich people that got power and money have always been doing this kind of stuff. They've always been doing it. And that's why I use Trump on the front of the cover. Not saying Trump did anything, but a lot of men that look like Trump is Floyd Wallace. A lot of these women are Floyd Wallace as well.
But is everything proven to be true? He deserves to be underneath the jail.
And anybody that got a problem with you calling them a sicko, they probably a sicko too. You got a video with dude getting taken down in the thing, and she's telling him why he's being arrested.
Quiet! Put your hand on the floor! Yeah, that's it. That's it. Keep your hand on the floor. Keep your fuzzy hand on the floor.
For somebody not to believe that tells me that they might be riding for the other side. They got the reports in the G1, and G1 is like the CNN of Brazil. They saying he got 13 arrests in the States. Did you know that?
I know he did the police audits. I know he was in jail. I was familiar with that part, but other than that, no, I didn't know it was like 13. But I know that YouTubers.
Yes, Gregory. I do remember the guy who was caught without enough money a few years ago. Many tried to use that incident to hurt. Yeah, they did. They've always tried to use any movement to silence men because they didn't like the fact that black men were beginning to say they have power. They don't like it. Yeah, they don't like it, man. Yeah, he is associated with. Shout out to my man, International Quiet Storm. We will talk offline about this, Coach. I have my thoughts on this situation, and they will not be on WokeTube. Yeah, WokeTube is woke, brother. I'll call you, Quiet Storm, afterwards, man. I'll call you at some point later today. Definitely will do it, man, at some point, brother. And I agree with you, man. YouTube is very woke. You got to be careful what you say. Yeah. Let me tell you guys something. I want all my subscribers to listen. And me and Quiet Storm have had this conversation before in the past. I want you guys to listen. I need some of my big donors like Gregory Scotland has always supported me. Listen, I want to grow my channel. I'm going to strive to do everything in my power to be ethical. But if y'all don't understand YouTube, YouTube is a business, man. It's games you got to play if you want to be successful. I struggle with playing the games. I struggle with playing the game. I struggle with being loyal to my constituents. I struggle with it. Because by nature, I'm a go-getter, man. I'm not the kind of man that likes mediocrity. I'm a go-getter. I'm a headhunter. I like to put it in. I don't like my time to be wasted, but I'm a go-getter. So with all that being said, to all my loyal subscribers like Gregory Scotland that's been supporting me since 2021, Quiet Storm, some brothers I was riding with, they fell off. That's fine. The ones that fell off, so it is what it is, man. I'm not going to compromise my message. Somebody said my audio is super low. Can you guys hear me? Somebody said my audio is fine. You might have to turn your volume up. Turn your volume up. It's not my audio. You might have to turn your volume up. Whoever said that. Turn your volume up. But anyway, I'm not going to compromise my message. Or I strive not to compromise my message. But I need you guys to understand that YouTube is a business. There's a lot of YouTube politics. I struggle because, it's just in my nature to say what I want to say, man. I don't believe nobody should be able to tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. I try to respect people, but all this tap dancing and bojangling, I struggle with that. I know the Bible said there's a time for all things and you should use wisdom, and I get that. I get all that. But to all my loyal subscribers, understand it's a business, that I'm going to strive to be ethical in doing this stuff, that I am working behind the scene with other people to help my channel grow and to reach broader audiences. Because as much as I have good men like Gregory and the Wall Report and Valsalini and people that have supported me, being a black male YouTube content creator that speaks the truth, you're not going to make any money, man. And when you put in hours and hours and hours and hours of editing and putting shows together only to get a low outcome, you see why the other channels are growing and making money, because they're getting compensated. And so I got to get creative. Men like Dr. Ryan Teraband. Dr. Ryan Teraband is a psychologist. Dr. Teraband charges folks $1,000 for a consultation. If I say, listen, let's do a consultation with me for $150 or $200, folks don't want to pay it. and the thing about it, guys, I ain't no fake therapist. I'm a real therapist. I'm real. I've shown you guys over and over and over again that I'm real. I'm not no fake therapist. I'm the real deal, man. But it's hard. It's hard being consistent because you don't get no support. And so when you turn 54, time is everything. You can make money, but you can't make time. When you close your eyes in death, none of this mess ain't gonna matter. To the folks that are making money through YouTube by compromising their integrity and compromising their standards for the sake of money, when you stand before God, none of this stuff is going to matter, because the Bible said to the rich man, he said, "Fool, tonight your soul shall be required of thee." So the reason why I do what I do, guys, because I try to do it because I believe in heteronormative masculinity. I believe the men should have agency. If I wanted to, I could compromise. I probably could be rich and make a lot of money. But I know when I close my eyes in death, I got to stand before God, because watch this. If I'm doing what's right, I'm already rich, because the riches that men have on this side of life, it's not going to mean anything because it's all going back to dust. The people that acquire wealth by lying or compromising for whatever reason, preachers or content creators, you're not taking none of this wealth with you. When you stand before God, you're going to be giving an account of what you're doing. That's why I'm so consistent, because I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. But I fear God. I don't fear man. Man can destroy my body, but I'm not worried about another man. I know there are men that are stronger than me. I know there are men that can take me out, but I'm not worried about another man. As long as you don't get in my face, because don't ever confuse my profession with my manhood. I'm a man before I'm a therapist, and I don't see too many men as being better than me. I don't tap dance to no man. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much money you got in the bank. I don't care how great you think you are. You mean nothing to me. Because the thing that I have that a lot of men don't have is that I have ethics. I'm a real OG. I'm not a liar. I don't tap dance. Yes, I've lost a lot of money and opportunity because I don't compromise. But I understand that I will die at some point. I'm going to die at some point, and so will you men that are listening. And so you got to ask yourself the question, will I compromise for the sake of views? Will I compromise for the sake of money? Will I compromise to appease women that don't care about black men? Or will I stand on business and do what's right and do what Dr. King said, stand up and do what's right, and God will be with you now, even to the ends of the earth. Dr. King said, don't tell him that I won the Nobel Peace Prize. He said, that's not important. But Dr. King said, tell him that I helped somebody. And so that's the struggle that I have. The temptation for money, the temptation for power, the temptation for growth. And I'm going to grow my channel by hook or crook. I'm going to grow it. I'm going to find a way to grow it. If I can't grow it to the way that I need to grow it, I'll probably just check out, because, I'm a one-man show. I work for myself in my own private business, and I do all my editing. I do all my content. I do it by myself. But being a black male content creator, there is no money in it. I'm just being honest with you guys. There ain't no money being a black male content creator. You got to work like a dog for peanuts, where others do a whole lot less. Y'all ain't getting no fake therapist. I'm a real therapist, man. I'm not like some of these fake guys, these fake gurus, like Dr. Shane Bryan, some of these folks that go to Chicken George State University. Let me show you guys something. I'm a real therapist, man. And the guys that know me know that I'm a real therapist. I got a background in law enforcement and all that. It ain't nothing fake about me. I know some people have looked me up. I understand this YouTube business now, guys. I was sort of green when I first came in. But what I've learned about YouTube, there are a lot of fake folks in YouTube. There are a lot of fakes in YouTube, and it is what it is. There are a lot of guys that don't have your best interest at heart. Some of them know that you got a lot of potential and they ain't gonna help you, and that's fine. But what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna tap dance. And what I will do, if I got a problem with you, I'll say it to your face in a respectful way. That's just me. I don't know if that's right or wrong. That's just me.
Yeah. Shut up, Kosher. Yeah. Shut up. Whoa. Shut up, Kosher. Ballin'. Take it back. Like it's game time. Game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin'. Like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for my bag coming. 3 whole years and these records keep running. Don't talk to me if you can't match the numbers. Ballin', like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. Yeah, I'm ballin', like it's game time. Locked in when it's game time. I put in work, couldn't wait for mine.
So I do what I do, guys, because I'm a kosher king. I want to see men win. I want to see all men win, black and white. Because I'm a firm believer that when men are right, then the world will be right. I don't see the world getting better in our lifetime, but I love to see men win. I don't like to see men struggle. Because I've struggled. I've been assailed. I've been persecuted. But once again, I understand that there's a cost with being successful in life. But I do have some folks behind the scenes I'm working with that I respect highly. And we're going to see what's going to happen with this YouTube experiment. Hopefully I can get into the higher algorithm with some of the bigger channels. But I'm not going to compromise who I am. Am I trying to grow? Yes. Am I going to strive to be ethical? Yes. So to all my good content creators, you can never say it. The coach never said it. I'm just being as honest as I can. And we'll just see what happens in the meantime. Let me read through some of these comments real quick. Somebody said my sound is off. And I heard him clearly. All right, so let's finish looking a little bit of this, guys. I'm gonna end this in a minute, but I got a show coming up for you guys real soon. We're gonna have a live call-in, guys. Live call-in. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna end this soon. Hold tight.
Just, do that. They do the little police officer. They roll up on the police and say, "Hey, I'm not trespassing," and they'll say, "Hey, you are trespassing." So I am familiar with that, but yeah, I had no idea he had 13. I think most of those arrests are coming from that, though.
A smoking gun is the report saying that he used rideshare apps, Uber 99, to traffic victims remotely so he wouldn't be seen at the pickup spot. So basically, he was quarterbacking what was going on. So he knew he was doing something wrong. If you hide, then we know you're doing something wrong. So that lets us know too, because if you're standing on business, you don't need to hide. I never met the guy. I don't know anything about him. You know what I mean? If he's innocent, hopefully he can prove that. If he's not, man, he should get exactly what he deserves. They got other YouTubers running around like, the booty goon. All these people need to fry, man, because they make us all look bad. Like I say all the time, if a non-melanated person does something, he takes the hit. If a melanated person does something, we all take the hit. It's sad, man, but it is what it is.
Especially in like evil acts and concerns of, minors or anything like that, man. That's sickening.
What about the fallout in Brazil? Have you heard anything about what's happening in Brazil right now? You talked to Skylar, heard anybody out there?
No, I haven't talked to anything about I think this is all fresh, man. Like this is all recent. We were talking about hours ago.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Keep your hand on the board. Keep your butt hand on the board.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Maurice Martin for that $10 super chat, man. I appreciate it, brother Maurice. Shout out to brother Maurice for that $10 super chat. Thank you, sir, for your kindness. Thank you to brother Maurice for that $10 super chat, sir. Thank you so much.
We're being arrested for a child exploration by the police of here, okay? That's it.
Yeah, they're gonna wake up and find out something crazy. I was making an episode called "Why I Don't Call Myself a Passport, Bro," right? And that's me personally. I don't like to have
guys, we got some heavy hitters in the house. I didn't even see it, man. I didn't even see the International Quiet Storm outside of my man, the War Report that blessed me with 120. Man, we got my man, the International Quiet Storm, in the house with a $50 cash out, followed by my man, brother Aaron Hamlet. Shout out to the International Quiet Storm, as he is one of the #1 sponsors of the stream, followed by brother Aaron Hamlet. Man, I really appreciate you guys showing love. Thank you guys for the love and support. And shout out to the International Quiet Storm.
It's the money.
All right. Once again, guys, we're going to have a live show coming up soon. Live panel, guys. I need y'all feedback. If I do a show coming up in the next couple of days with a live panel, would you guys participate? Because I want to hear you guys' feedback about this passport bro phenomena, the Floyd situation, and why so many people have issues with black male agency. It's going to be a live panel. You got a camera. Well, you don't. If I know you, you don't have to. You got to show me your face in the back. But you can't just come up. But we're going to do a live show soon. All right. So once again, shout out to the International Quiet Storm and the War Report, as they're the #1 sponsors of the stream. Thank you, guys.
Any kind of association with anything that I don't have any control over, because I don't know who's in it, what's going on with the organization is. Now, how does that work for you in terms of you being, quote unquote, could be considered, the leader of the Passport Bros? You have the app and all of that stuff. Does this affect you and your brand, or how do you look at it?
This is the thing. The brand has been somewhat controversial from not necessarily since the inception, but from early on, going back and forth in the gender war. And when you had, so-called a media war, people will throw as much dirt, especially people that, lean in one direction, feminists and stuff like that. And a lot of these publications are, ran by, of course, feminists. I'm not getting into the politics of it, But we know, and we've been saying this for a long time, that the Passport Bros is not necessarily a movement. It's not necessarily an organization. There's no ledger of members or anything like that. Like, some people would try to allegedly say, it's just an ideology. It's a mindset. And all the mindset is geo arbitrage, meaning go somewhere else where you're treated better and you can afford the best quality of living that you can. All right, with your American dollar. So that's the crux of it. Like I say, I'm a creator. I do have a reach, but I don't have like the massive reach of some other creators and that don't necessarily agree with the ideology or the so-called movement, as they say. And a lot of it is just clicks and views as well. Like we know the definition of a technical Passport Bro is, but the thing is, Passport Bro, that terminology it's been so popularized.
Yeah, it's been popularized, but it's also been highly castigated and misused. People use the term Passport Bro as a way to denigrate black male sovereignty and black male agency, and that's why I came. That's why I wanted to parrot that talking point, because all Passport Bros are not the same. They're different men that are Passport Bros. All this nonsense about Passport Bros being bad and Passport Bros being ex-tourists is just a deviation away from the truth, because they don't want you to have any agency. Once again, Passport Bro is an ideology, it's a way of life, it's about male sovereignty, male empowerment. Deviant behavior is not a Passport Bro. It's a broad term, but it means different things to different men. And I understand why some people separate themselves from it, but it's no need to separate yourself from it. You ain't doing nothing wrong, But I think it is important for you to speak out loudly and clarify what it is, so that you don't get lost in the minutia. So I think it's important to talk about it and to clarify what it is, and don't waver in your convictions.
It would always kind of lead to people taking shots at it because of the popularity of the name. Right? Not only is it a name that somewhat, I'm not gonna say necessarily alienate, but it's a male name with the bros at the end. Then it has like a black male orientation with the bros as well, even though we know bro is entertaining to lose with other races of guys as well. But those are really the reasons that it gets hit so much, is just simply because of the popularity of it. And it's the thing, a lot of guys will like try to criticize, certain creators like myself or other YouTubers and stuff like that, that kind of, will, utilize the name and say, hey, we stand on business, we call ourselves Passport Bros. But this started organically on TikTok, right? It was out of our hands once it hit TikTok and it went viral, and it goes viral every few months, and it has more than 400 mentions on TikTok alone. But this is a massive name, right? It's a massive brand. Acknowledgement, like you have people that,
and not only is it a massive brand, it's a massive brand that causes some to be in fear because they feel like they're losing power. When this Passport Bro thing was getting big a couple of years ago, it made a lot of folks feel uncomfortable because it was the first time the black men were speaking out loud and bold, and black men were talking about power, and black men were saying things that were unconventional. As I said before in the past, black men don't have the answer to nobody. I'm talking about traditional hardworking black men, white collar and blue collar. I'm not talking about dusty men like Floyd and Jay Rillo. All black men are not the same. A lot of times there's this false equivocation that they are, but all black men are not the same. I believe men have the right to live their lives on their own terms. Only in America where black men got to ask folks for permission, or you got other black men trying to suppress their voice. And I got a problem with that. Because, like I said, ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. I don't care about what other men think of me in general. If I know I'm right, I don't care about what somebody else is thinking. Neither should you. You stand firm in your convictions. You stand firm for what's right. And don't worry about the rest. When you get a certain age, you don't care about what folks think because you realize you ain't gonna be here forever, no way. So why should I care about what somebody else thinks? I don't care about when you get my age, you ain't got time to try to fit in with folks, to fit in with cliques and all that group of stuff. I'm not doing that. If I got a problem with you, I'm gonna tell you to your face. I'm gonna respect you, but I'm gonna definitely tell you to your face, and then I'm just gonna keep moving. And like I said, as long as you don't get in my face, we'll be fine, man. We'll be fine.
Might have heard of certain brands, but come on, 400-something million mentions on TikTok alone. Right. So it's a lot that comes with that.
Quiet Storm said, I associate with the Blue Book Gentlemen. We are the elites in international travel, business, and network. Yes. So Blue Book Gentlemen are really like it's like a subgroup of Passport Brothers, but they call themselves Blue Book Gentlemen. They are what I call bourgeoisie Negroes. The Blue Book Gentlemen are more the bourgeoisie. They're the upper crust. Quiet Storm is a bourgeoisie. He is a elite black man. He's top dollar black man. He ain't no, Quiet Storm is up there. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but trust and believe he is elite when it comes down to earning. Very elite. And so the Blue Book Gentlemen are subsets of the Passport Bro movement. That's what the Blue Book Gentleman is. It's a subset of the Passport Bros.
There's a lot that comes with that. It's unfortunate that they would tie something as heinous as this, because we all know that guys aren't doing that. Like, that's an individual who did some sick ish.
Right, and Aaron is correct, because they're not doing that. But once again, they love to falsely equivocate Passport Bros with ex-tourists, and also with they love to falsely equivocate Passport Bros and Blue Book Gentlemen. They might go into tourist districts where that's allowed versus ex-tourists that explicitly exploit women, girls, children, or whoever. Two different things, but they love that false equivocation because they want to mimic and destroy anything associated with black male agency, because a lot of it's tied to feminism. Feminism wants to undergird and destroy anything associated with power. Like I told you guys, it's always been about power. It's always about power. Power and strength. And that's why you should never run for anything if you know you're not doing anything wrong.
If allegedly.
All right, so basically the title says American investigator for ex-tourism and grooming for minor recruitment in Rio is arrested in Sao Paulo. Okay, that's what the title says. Let's go.
Quiet! Yeah, that's it. That's it. Keep your hands on the board.
Yeah, I appreciate the way you handle this kind. Yeah, I appreciate that Coastal Man Swift 4145. Yeah, I think what leaders do, man, Coastal Man Swift, speak up when it's not always expedient to speak up. Cowards can always hide, but what leaders do is speak up and speak with conviction and speak with courage. That's what leaders do. So thank you for that kind compliment, Coastal Man Swift 415, man. I appreciate that, brother. You showing that kind of compliment. Thank you.
You're being arrested for child exploration by the police of history. Okay? That's it.
All right, so it looks like they might have hit him with the mace.
I have yet to have seen several guys overseas with Passport Bro t-shirts on, raiding, causing chaos, as
Right.
if like some of these media outlets and some of these anti-Passport Bro people are claiming. Right? There is no evidence. And then when these governments and police look into it, they'll see, oh, it's just.
And Aaron is right. There is no evidence. It's an ego defense mechanism or cognitive distortion called overgeneralization. We take one or two bad apples like Floyd and Jay Rello, and we falsely equivocate all black men associated with the movement, because Floyd is not a Passport Bro. He said it, and also Jay Rello. But once again, ironically, the disassociation of Floyd as it relates to the lies against the Passport Bro, that's what Floyd was actually doing. And I had to say something about it, man, because like I said before earlier, man, the people are always talking about, these Passport Bros are buying cat and whatever. Wait. Why do you care? Why do men care about what other men are doing? Other men ain't got to answer to no other man. The only man men got to answer to is God. And if men are doing detrimental things like Floyd and Jay Rello, then men need to speak out. But they don't like it because they've never seen black men speak out. This whole internet thing now has given black men power, and white men as well. And the world don't like it. They want black men to be quiet. They want to shame black men. Your mama black. Stand up for the black community and all this goofy stuff. But yet nobody cares about black men and what they want and what they desire.
It's a hashtag. It's an internet terminology, right? It's really, the investigation stops there because they see quickly, oh, it's just it's an internet name. So it's getting to that point because, like I said before, it's such a popular term. It's not going to stop.
Now, before we sign off, I want to give a shout out to BMT for giving me this interview. And I also want to talk about the reality of what this man Floyd is facing. We need to be clear. Floyd Wallace Jr. is innocent until proven guilty. Everyone deserves their day in court. But understand this, the Brazilian justice system is not the American justice system. In Brazil, crimes against children are known as crimes hediondos, heinous crimes. That means stricter rules, harder time, and often no bail. If the allegations are true that he exploited a child under 14, he is looking at 8 to 15 years in Brazilian penitentiary under Article 217-A. And let's be real about what prison is like for this specific crime. It doesn't matter.
And Maurice Martin 2982, you're 100% correct. The reason why feminists are so strong is because men are weak. And it's so true. Evil happens when good men stand back and do nothing. That's why evil proliferates. When you sit back and don't say nothing, you're part of the problem. You're actually complicit in the evil when you don't stand up and say nothing. And that's very true on Maurice Martin. Very true. Very true.
If you're in Rikers Island, Bangkok Hilton, or a favela jail in Rio, the Brazilian federal police just audited him. And they found a discrepancy that might cost him his life.
Yeah.
Some people are saying he might not make it in there. So I want to hear from you guys. Go to the comment section right now. Do you think this is a setup? Do you think the Brazilian government is targeting American men? Or do you think he did it and deserves everything he got coming to him?
I think it's a combination of both. I think they are targeting American men. It could be some kind of international war. And it's a possibility that Floyd did it too. Strong possibility that he did it. But they did the same thing with Austin Holloman a while ago, guys. I got a show coming up, guys, soon. I need you guys' feedback. I'm going to have a live show. I'm going to have a live show, and I want to know if you guys will be part of the panel. We're going to have a live show panel. We're going to start off, and I might have Peaceful Life up there. And so I'm going to have a live show, and will you guys participate? I want to hear you guys' feedback. Participate. All right. I'm going to play a little bit more of this, guys, and I'm going to end it. We're going to stop it because I got another show coming up. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe Friday or Saturday. It's going to be a good show. All right?
Let your voice be heard.
Let's get into it. Brazilian authorities have arrested an American in connection with a serious criminal investigation involving the exploitation of minors. Floyd Wallace Jr., a U.S. national, was taken into custody following an operation led by Rio de Janeiro Civil Police with assistance from law enforcement from Sao Paulo. According to investigators, Wallace is suspected of facilitating and participating in the sexual exploitation of young ones, using digital platforms and transportation apps to arrange encounters. Police say the case is part of a broader effort to combat child exploitation involving foreign nationals. Authorities seized electronic devices during an arrest, which are now being analyzed as part of an ongoing investigation. Wallace remains in custody as Brazilian courts review the case. The following video shows footage related to the arrest and police operation, so check this out and I'll meet you on the other side.
Children in Rio de Janeiro.
Mr. For Your Sister, he said, I do think that these governments are targeting American men. Floyd is autistic. He's on the spectrum. I thought Jay Rillo would, the first guy, do some slick blank. Yeah, that's a strong point, Mister, for your Mister, for your sister. What's up, Pablo? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Pablo, good brother. I got a show coming up, Pablo. I'm gonna have a live panel, and I want to hear guys' feedback. I might bring you on, my man, Peaceful Life, and a few other guys. We're gonna have a live show coming up talking about passport bros and also the plantation pirates that are trying to subjugate male sovereignty. So shout out to Pablo, shout out to that brother.
His detention was at a downtown hotel. He described himself on social media profiles as a sex tourist. The text then includes a series of excerpts from a video.
As soon as they entered the room, the American, identified as Floyd Wallace Jr., 29, was arrested in the Liberdade neighborhood in downtown Sao Paulo to delinquently eating game. He threw himself to the ground and was handcuffed. The operation was carried out by teams from the Homicide and Personal Protection Department in support of civil police officers from the state of Rio de Janeiro days. According to information from the Child and Adolescent Police Station, the American is accused of raping and sexually exploiting several children. In conducting their inspection of the hotel room where he was lodged, the police found a significant quantity of electronic equipment, including files containing child pornography. They also seized a variety of items such as pen drives, memory cards, a notebook of a computer, multiple cell phones, some stuffed animals, a watch with an embedded camera, and various other telephone devices. At the start of December, law enforcement commenced an intelligence operation following a report from a ride-sharing driver. The driver stated that a user who had used a false name requested a ride with two minors whiners. During the ride, the man spoke with the children who said they were going to meet an older man who didn't speak Portuguese. The girls couldn't explain how they knew him. That's when the civil police were...
All right, so guys, let's go back and recap. We're going to stop it here in a minute, and then we're going to end this. And once again, there's a difference between ex-tourism, what Floyd did, what Jay Rello is doing, versus black American men being in ex-districts. There might be blue book gentlemen, might be passport bros, might be whatever. Something totally different. Ex-tourism is totally different than being in ex-districts where things are mostly legal and when the women are actually coming up to the men soliciting them. Once again, Jay Rello and also Floyd participated in a concept that I created. It's not in the DSM-5. It's called pan-global sexual behavior, pan-global sexualism. Pan-global sexualism, and also I call it pan-globophilia, meaning pan means across, global means the world. They tend to go across the world looking for sexual advances. Pan-globophilia. And that's what Floyd and Jay Rello are complicit in doing. Pan-globophilia. Pan-globophilia. I pray that what they said happened to Floyd is not true. I pray to God it's not true. I hope it's not true. I pray to God it's not true. But once again, these men that are trying to shame men, talking about paying for box, you paying for box. If you're dealing with American women, you paying for box. When you take that woman out on that date the first time, you're paying for box. Every man paying for box. If you either you do it up front or you do it on the back end, you're paying for it. You're paying one payment is quick and ready, and the next payment is hoping. So one payment is the hope, because American women practice cultural prostitution. If you don't believe me, once again, ask Dr. Ryan Taraban. If you don't believe me, ask Dr. Ryan Taraban.
To explain in less than 2 minutes why gentlemen are dead and are not coming back. Good guys are gone, and so is romance. Who killed it?
So that's the answer to the question that began this series. Where are all the gentlemen? They disappeared when the lady went extinct. And it wasn't men who killed her. Women have proudly fought tooth and nail.
Well, average Joe here, 9126. So, right, I would pray that you're not going for ex-tourism, because that's illegal. But if you go into a district, average Joe, where that might be available, that's between you and God. A lot of men that travel are not ex-tourists. That's illegal and that's debaucherous. Some men, most men that travel are not ex-tourists. Those are sickos. Most men that travel probably are in ex-districts like what you're doing. I'm leaving to experience different culture in general. I respect all countries I go to find, and if I find a female, and if a female and I happen to hit it off, okay, right. That's what a lot of passport bros do. Some do be in districts where the women solicit them, from what I've been told. But it's nothing wrong with you're going just to visit and you meet a young lady. Like I said, I don't believe in fornication, but we know men gonna fornicate, and if they do it, that's between them and God. I can't tell a man what to do, But ex-tourism is something totally different. What Floyd did and what Jay Rillo is doing is ex-tourism, which is exploitative. And what they do, they falsely associate all black men as sex tourists.
To escape the social restrictions that define that identity over the past 60 years. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that modern women want the best of both worlds. They want the social freedom of the product and the respectability of the lady. And that just doesn't...
Right, that's what modern women do. Modern women, when you go out on dates, they say, I want you to treat me like a lady, but they'll tell you up front that you got to pay my bills, you got to take me to an expensive restaurant. That's a culture-rated prostitution. That's all. It's a cultural problem where listen, if you're selling your body either intentionally or instead of being a direct transaction, it's a future transaction. If you tell a man you got to pay X amount of money to take me on a date, then that's a form of prostitution. So for all these goofballs that try to shame men, talking about they paying for box, you're paying for box anyway, fool. You're either paying it directly up front or you're paying it on the back end. What's understood don't have to be said. That's a culture-rated prostitution. When you take that woman out on a date, most men ain't taking women out on dates just to be nice. Most men are taking women out on dates to have carnal fun. So for the men that try to shame men to say they're paying for box, well, what's your point? They're paying for box in America for a subpar product, mostly. There are some good women in America that are kind, sweet, and feminine, but it's not enough. There are men that are in excess relations. They just did a study that said Gen X are not having intimacy. That's what they said about Gen X men. So do you pay it up front? Or do you pay it on the back end through time, money, gas, dinners, getting her hair done, her nails did? That's a culture-rated prostitution. That's why it's so hypocritical. You know how many women say that a man got to pay? Some women tell men they got to cash out her. Let me show you guys something. They got to cash out her before you can talk to her. Hold on a minute. Women tell men to cash out them before they go on a date.
Doesn't make sense. Like, one person can't be both a lady and a prop at the same time. If these designations are to have any meaning whatsoever, they need to be grounded in objective phenomena. And while it's always kind of easy for a lady to become a prostitute, it's very, very difficult for a prostitute to become a lady. It is possible, like the Empress Wu, who started out as a concubine in Chinese history, but it is much more difficult than the opposite. So let's be real. The standard template for women's behavior in the sexual marketplace today is to engage in casual sex without commitment through their 20s and then settle down into marriage around 30. That is, they want to enjoy the social freedom of a prostitute for 10 to 15 years, and then they want the respectability of a lady for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that doesn't make sense to men.
Now, let me show you guys something to the group balls or to women or anybody trying to shame men that travel. and saying you're paying for box. Okay, let's look at it. Because we all know that money alone does not guarantee a woman's going to be loyal to you. It doesn't mean that she's going to be loyal. Look at what this woman said, guys. Number in the stream.
I done came up with an idea. You know how you go get your
Woman insists men pay $1,000 up front to qualify for dates. So what is that, guys? To the goofballs that try to shame men, you're either doing it implicitly by implication, or there are some women telling you up front that you got to pay them $1,000 when Raekwon, Man, Day are getting it for free. So they can't win in America. And we know there's some guys that are socially awkward, like Floyd. They can't win in America, and then you try to shame them when they go abroad. Men are constantly being beat over the head and told to shut up and be quiet. And you constantly shame. And the sad thing, the shame is coming from other men.
hair done, but before you get your hair done, you have to put down a deposit. Before you get your lashes done, you have to put down a deposit. Before you get your nails done, you have to put down a deposit, right? And if you don't show up, you do not get that deposit back. So I done came up with an idea. We should start charging these men deposit to date us. Like, we should start charging them a fee to date us. Like a 30-day trial. You pay this.
If you're paying a fee to date a woman, that's a form of whoredom and borrowing services with the explicit intent to get cat. So ask yourself the question, being a logical, pragmatic male. Do you pay a woman $1,000 up front for cat that she gave to other men for free, to pay for her, get her hair did, not done, to get her nails did, not done, to deal with her bad children? Or do you focus on yourself, travel abroad, and stack your money up? And if you go into districts where they're doing that, do that, which, like I said, I'm not moralizing. I don't believe, I'm not pushing fornication. Or get you a wife outside of those districts. But they say that y'all are buying box. But you're buying box in America. When you're taking women on all these fancy dates, you're taking on the dates with the understanding that you might get box versus knowing up front that you are going to get box. So what men are saying, look, I'm not going to waste my money with the possibility of getting some box. I'm just going to get me some box. Once again, I'm not saying that's right. That's between them and God. I don't tell men what to do. That's wrong. That's sinful according to the Bible. But I'm not going to tell a man what to do with his money and his power. I'm just not going to. That's stupid. That's weird to me. That's weirdo behavior, man.
Pay like $1,000 to date us. So, and if they don't do right by us within them 30 days, we keep the money. I'm just saying, like, right. I think we should start charging men to date us. I done came up with an idea.
Charge men to date you.
Expensive dates.
I got a question, ladies. So, expensive dates. Why should a guy take you on an expensive date? Why do you think you deserve that? Why does a man have to spend $2,000-$3,000 on a date and he can just take you out for coffee or to the Cheesecake Factory? It's a great experience. You're supposed to be coming to the date just to meet the date. Y'all can go on a picnic. But why is it that some of y'all want like really expensive dates to 5 to 7-star restaurants? What is it, the experience? And if it's the experience, just keep it real in the comments.
Right. You got to pay all that money for women that don't have nowhere near the modicum of your mother and your grandmother. That's what hoflation does. A term that I created and other bigger content users are using. Because I didn't hear nobody talking about hoflation until I said something about it. But you got to pay full price and make her feel special. See, the problem with modern women is not the foreign women are better, not necessarily by default, but foreign women from conversations with men, that from what I've seen with my own eyes, they are better because of conditioning. Women are women wherever you go. But they are better because they're socialized better. The majority of them, not all of them, but they're better socialized. There are some good women in America that are socialized, but it's a small number. It's a smaller number than it is abroad, even though it's changing overseas too. Because I've been to Puerto Rico, and let me tell you something, guys. You ain't got to live in a country to know all the ins and outs of that culture, that country. You don't have to live in that country.
Question, ladies. So, expensive dates. Why should a guy take you on an expensive date? Why do you think you deserve that? Why does a man have to spend $2,000-$3,000 on a date and he can just take you out for coffee or to the Cheesecake Factory? You know, it's a great experience. You're supposed to be coming to the date just to meet the date. Y'all can go on a picnic. But why is it that some of y'all want like really expensive dates to 5 to 7-star restaurants? What is it, the experience? And if it's the experience, just keep it real in the comments and let me know. Like, ain't nothing wrong with keeping it real, but I always wanted to make sense. Like, why should a dude have to shell out all this money just for an experience? I'm supposed to be getting to know him. But why? Why? Tell me why, because I'm confused and I'm about to go back to sleep.
Expensive
So I got a
dates.
question, ladies. So
females though, in a feed them head, when a man invite them out on a date, them feel like say, yo, them feel want to eat the dearest thing and drink the dearest thing.
Most expensive. Mm-hmm.
And most of them women, bro, say a man invite a woman out on a coffee date. Them no want to hear about coffee date.
Mm-hmm.
And me feel say as a man getting to know a person or getting to know a woman, I feel like that's how if you start. It's supposed to start like coffee date or them little juice bar.
Right, something small. Work
small.
it way up.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Females though, in a feed them head, when a man invite them out on a date, them feel like say, yo, them feel want to eat the dearest thing and drink the dearest thing.
Most expensive. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
A
major red flag when you're
about the first restaurant he gonna take you to. What's the last restaurant your daddy took you to? Because you shouldn't be coming to him to be your daddy. That's not his role. It's a first date. I want y'all to bring that down to level 3.
And we need more moms like her. We need more moms just like her.
Y'all way on 10 with this foolishness and want to embarrass somebody. My second question is, have you ever been anywhere? Where do you take yourself? Let me see your checkbook registry. Let me log into your bank account and see what you feed yourself on a regular basis. Where do you take yourself for lunch or dinner? That's the next question I want you to answer. And then the third thing about this, come on back over here because I need you to understand what time it is. A real lady is gonna be there for the purpose of what it's for. She's not looking for food because she's hungry that she can't afford so she can take.
You guys see what I'm talking about? That's what Dr. Ryan Taraban was talking about. They're no longer ladies. They're no longer ladies. And even after they get food or whatever, their past would say they're not ladies because ladies didn't give their body away for services, man. The doctor said it, and another therapist is saying it too.
Take it to go and get a doggy bag. I'm gonna wrap this up to go. Why? You ain't gonna have food tomorrow? That's a poverty mindset. So a first date, again, is to get to know the person, to hang out, have fun. Y'all should be laughing and talking. It don't need to be a steakhouse. We don't even know if you worth a steak. You might just be worth a piece of bread. So ladies, young ladies, grow up. Get some maturity about yourself.
She said it, I didn't.
For women to expect men to pay for first dates. In fact, some women, maybe it's not a deal breaker if you go.
And the crazy thing is that Scott Galloway expects men to pay, still be. See, you got to watch out for these boomer simps like Scott Galloway. They still expect men to pay dates. Now, if she's a good woman, I don't mind that. But she got to qualify herself first. And ain't nobody take you out on no $300 date on no first date, sweet. I don't know you like that. You're going to serve in some capacity if you want me to serve you. But they want men to pay for first dates and treat them special. And the men don't even know
50-50, some women definitely a deal breaker. If it's the standard that women say, you need to pay for the first date, that translates to you need to work 2.5 hours to take me out. And what if the guy works a labor job? What if his job is difficult? What if his job is, I don't know, what if he's a janitor? What if he's cleaning bathrooms? What
Construction?
Or he works a restaurant job and he's fucking running around cleaning tables and shit. And he has to, all the shit that he has to do in the restaurant? Or construction, he's breaking his body. I start to think like, the bow seems like kind of a small ask compared to the ask of women. Go work 2 hours to take me on a date. I mean, that's the entailment of men should pay on first dates. You work 2 hours to take me on a date for women to.
Boy, I feel bad for you fellas in this new dating generation. Boy, y'all heard that girl online? What she said? She said going out dating, she expect her man to pay for everything she needs to go on that date. She talking about her hair, her eyelashes,
her nails did. Her nails, not dumb, but did.
Everything she needs to go on that date, even by the outfit, the clothes that she wearing. I'm like, bro, that's crazy as hell, man. The average dude in America made $37,000 a year. After they pay their bills, they barely have no spending money. They make spending money just to have some type of social life and dating life. And you tell me how that's going for you. A dude paying for all that. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Now, in the back in the day, sending the outfit type shit, and that's smooth. I do some shit like that. Girls' clothes cheap as hell anyway. They outfits don't be nothing but $10, $15, $20. You get what I'm saying? They be cute as fuck, be looking good. And they just, match the accessories, might have on real jewelry or might have on a expensive purse or whatever they pair it with, expensive shoes or nice heels. But the outfits be cheap. That's nothing. But as far as the dude down doing that, getting your hair, your nails, shit, they gonna pass on that. Cause it's like, even if I can do it, why would I do it when there's plenty of other women that's willing to take care of themselves, and just, whatever a dude do for them is just extra.
And once again, modern women created the passport bros. Black men were content dealing with black women and American women in the past because they were better women. My dad said it. I didn't say it. My dad said he would never get married again. And I got the video to prove it. My dad said he would never get married again. Let me show you guys something real quick. And then I'm going to end this stream. Because me and my dad, we went on a trip to, we went abroad. And to protect my dad's privacy, this person looks like my dad. It's not 100% him. But I'm going to show you guys in a minute. We're going to end it because I got to go. But hold on.
You know what I'm saying? Most guys, real men, they ain't looking for a woman that actually need them. They don't want to be needed. You get what I'm saying? You attracted. Guys are attracted to women that don't need them at all. You know what I'm saying? You're not.
Well, I don't agree with that. A man want a woman that want them and need them because when a man is needed by his woman, unless it's something draconian and something very burdensome, it's a sign that she's really into it. I want to be needed by my woman. I want her to want me and need me, as long as she's not a burden.
Trying to deal with me or get with me because you think I can support you, support your lifestyle, support your habits. You want me because you actually like me. You feel me? So, good luck with that though. If you got a nigga that's doing.
So let me show you guys something. What my daddy got when my dad married my mom. My mom died this year, guys. I'm gonna end this, but I'm gonna show you guys just a small clip. This is what my daddy got. This is what my dad got. Hold tight.
If you had a woman,
now, God, my dad is 82 years old. My dad's a country boy. He's a country boy. My dad worried me to death on that trip. But Grandpa Kosher, this is what Grandpa Kosher said. Because as you guys know, I lost my mom this year. But this is what my 82-year-old dad said about modern women. Y'all think I'll be making this stuff up, but this is what my dad says. So hold tight. Thank you.
So the day you 82, if you got married again, which I know you said you ain't. So all right, so hold on, man, because there's some young men gonna be listening to you. Why when you get married again, Dad?
I won't get married no more.
Tell me why.
I was been married for 55 years.
59.
59 years.
Almost 60.
I get mad again, shoot. Ain't no way. I'll be rolling myself to death with another one. No way.
There is no reason for a man to behave like a gentleman with a suit. That's kind of the whole selling point. That would be ridiculous at best and wasteful and dangerous at worst. So that's the answer to the question that began this series. Where are all the gentlemen? They disappeared when the lady went extinct. And it wasn't men who killed her. Women have proudly fought tooth and nail to escape the social restrictions that define that identity over the past 60 years. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that modern women want the best of both worlds. They want the social freedom of the
grandmother on that my great limitless
of a
So modern women, guys, created the passport bros. I'm gonna bring this clip over my dad real quick. I'm gonna end this. This stream has been too long. But hold tight.
For 10 to 15 years, and then they want the respectability of a lady for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that doesn't make sense to men.
Woman will know her worth, and their worth will not be an inflation. It'll be limitless. We'll all start putting you on the pedestals that my father put my mother on.
If you had a woman,
No,
if you,
I'm going for a mess up there.
so then you 82. If you got married again, which I know you said you ain't. So all right, so hold on, man, because there's some young men gonna be listening to you. Why when you get married again, Dad?
I won't get married no more.
Tell me why.
Look, I was been married for 55 years.
59.
59 years.
Almost 60.
I get married again, shoot. Ain't no way. I'll be rolling myself to death with another one. No way. Man, fool do that. Been married that long time, you gonna get married again?
But is it because marriage was stressful, or you feel like it's hard to find a decent woman?
No, it's more stressful.
More stressful if you try to find one now.
Yeah.
Right.
These women now, they do what they want to do.
What were the good things about being married versus?
This is what my dad said. These women now do what they want to do. Once again, we didn't create the passport bros. American women created the passport bros. And that's why men are checking out. That's why men are saying, I'll never get married again. My dad said, my dad 82 now, of course, he's old, but he's not clamoring to run down no aisle again, because marrying a woman and being a provider, and it's stressful, man. Being a man is hard, man. It's hard being a man.
This is the bad thing. So what was the good things you remember about being married?
Well, married.
Yeah. What was some of the good things you? Hold man, I don't think this thing recorded. Yeah. So what were some of the good things about being married that you remember?
Yeah. We watch you kept the house clean, she cook, and she do what you want to do.
Right. Do you?
Now remember, Carly B said she don't cook and she don't clean. But my mama was a virgin when she married my daddy. She didn't have no children, and she was mostly wife ready. She wasn't the best cook, but she learned how to cook. You guys are paying too much for the typical modern woman today because of whole inflation. You're paying too much for the average woman. She don't want to do anything but hold her hand down and demand stuff because she thinks she's special because of social media. Like my man, Mr. For Your Sister said.
Do you ever hear stories of men talking about how their wives don't cook or clean, but still expect them to pay all bills?
I ain't never taught you.
Their generation of women now said they don't cook, they don't clean. They said they still got a ring. Carly B said that. She said she don't cook and she don't clean.
Who do that?
A rapper said that. She said she don't cook and she don't clean.
And look at her.
Right.
Got all these different children.
I know.
Got these different men. Can't stay married.
Can't stay married because she got all that DNA in her. Now, if you think about women back then, would you say they were a lot more kinder? Would you say women back then were more nicer?
Yeah, they were more nice back then.
So how were they more nice in your opinion?
Because they cooked, they cleaned up.
And most men back then paid the bills, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, would you marry a woman, Dad, that say she was married before, but she had kids by another man, but her husband passed, but she wants you to still pay all the bills?
No,
Why would you do it?
Because she ain't no good. She ain't no good. No, she ain't no good. She always been married and got children too. No way, you stay on food, though.
So what would be fair? What would be fair? Did you pay 50-50? Pay half of the bills?
I ain't paying nothing. I better not mess with it.
You just rather be by yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you gonna do that you want to then, because they said they got you.
Oh, they got you there. Once you say I do, that mask comes off. They get fat, the sex stop, and they start talking back. They say, I got you now. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere now. And that's why I tell a lot of young men now, I said, women back then were better than, they were superior than women. Now, I'm not saying they were perfect. But they weren't perfect. But what do you remember about your mom's mom, my mama's mom, grandma? What do you remember about grandma? What kind of woman? Because I saw some pictures of her. She was pretty. What do you remember about Miss Beal?
She was nice.
And she worked in the field, right?
She had no insurance.
Now, you know what? I know what I meant to ask you, Dad. I know what I meant to ask you. Would you say a lot of women back in the day worked outside the home, where either they worked in the field or they worked for the white folks, and they still cook and they still clean the house?
You know what I'm Mark? Remember back then, they cooked 3 times a day.
Say it one more time, Dad.
Cooked 3 times a day and work in the field from sun up to sundown.
Say it one more time. They cooked 3 times a day, and they worked up from sun up to sundown like the men were working up from sun up to sundown. They were stronger, they were better, and they complained less. But these modern women now don't want to cook, they don't want to clean. They got wash machines, they got nice wash machines, they got microwaves, they got all the modern appliances, and they still lazy and complain and say they can't rest in their femininity because they got to work. They can't rest in their femininity, guys, because they got to work, and they need you to pay all the bills, but they're not all the woman. They want you to pay all the bills, but they're nowhere near the women like your mama, your grandmama, and your great-grandmama. Most of your grandmama and your great-grandmama. Because I think the folks
work 3 times a day and work in the field from sun up and sundown.
Right. Now, did they?
Well, they both all back then.
Did they have microwaves back then?
Shit, no, they had no microwaves. Hey.
My dad slipped up and said a cuss word. Now listen, guys. I took my daddy on a cruise. Me and my sister took him on a cruise because we want to honor our OG. I believe in honoring the OGs, guys. When I do these shows, guys, I'm real. I want to honor the OG. My dad is an OG, hard-working country boy. You know, he don't say chicken, he say chicken. He don't say 12, he say 12. He's just a hard-working, blue-collar country boy, man. And I got nothing but love for him. I respect my daddy highly because they don't respect masculinity now. And we were like gardeners around our dad. We very protective of our dad because our dad worked his behind off of his family. Our dad was our superhero. Men now are not superheroes. And that's why the passport bro movement came into fruition. Like Ray Knowles said, Ray Knowles is right. We didn't land on the passport bro, on the passport rock. The passport rock landed on us. And Ray Knowles is 100% correct. We didn't create the passport bros. The bad behavior created the damn passport bros. And I keep telling you, man, you're paying too much for the average woman. Me and my wife celebrated 30 years on yesterday. But if I was a single man, I would never get married again, man. I would never marry the typical model woman. I don't even look at them. I wish I would at 54 marry the typical woman. They don't qualify to be a wife. You're not getting nothing special. Most of them are liberally indoctrinated. A lot of them been ran through. If they ain't ran through, they don't want to do anything for them, man. And you think I'm going to pay, like these simps talking about, man, got to pay all the bills. Pay all the bills for what? Paying all the bills ain't going to guarantee that woman's going to respect you. I'm not paying all no bills unless you qualify, and most don't qualify.
Hey, the air come on the outside. That was it, microwave. I mean, that was the air.
Right. So they didn't have microwaves.
No, they had no microwave. You know what microwave was?
They didn't have laundromat. They didn't have laundry machines.
No, they had a scrub board.
Had a scrub board. And a scrub board. That's what they had. Right.
Yeah.
They had a scrub board.
Yeah.
They would scrub it, and then they would do what? Run it through one of those little hand wash machines, right?
Yeah, but back then didn't have that. You just had a scrub board, for scrub the clothes. You rain the clothes out and pull it out. That's it.
Now, would you say that a lot of women complained back then, or would you say less women complained back then? Meaning they always complained, talking about they tired. Would you say those women work from sun up to sundown?
No, didn't complain.
And so they had no other choice.
They didn't complain. Tough time made tough. Listen, you got a lot of lazy men now too. I ain't gonna, we're gonna talk about the men too. Some of these men are lazy. They don't know how to change a tire. They don't know how to change oil. They don't know how to do nothing. Some of these men are just as bad off. But here's the problem. Women back then would nurture boys and men. That's why men were better and greater. Women assisted men in being great. But women now don't want to assist men in being great. And they want they want a partner instead of a husband. Women now want total autonomy without accountability. They want total autonomy without accountability.
Right, those women were stronger. And most
barely women, but back then we were not.
So would you say a lot of the men work back? What did the men do back then?
They worked.
What kind of jobs would you say most men back then worked for their families? What kind of jobs did they have?
Back then they worked in the field.
They worked in the field from what time to what time? From what time to what time do you remember?
When sun up and sun down.
Sun down, right.
Yeah.
They also worked in what's called the lumber yard, right?
Yeah, someone working in the lumber yard.
From what time to what time?
Well, I really started working about 7 o'clock, I think.
They used to work for Lee Lumber Company, right?
Yeah, I worked for Lee Lumber Company. I worked to Listen too. Living there with heavy seal. They'll call me they had us.
You mean not ulcers? You talking about hernias?
Hernia, yeah.
Right, but stress made ulcers though. But so those men will work from sun up to sundown in the field. A lot of the women would do it too. But you say women back then complained less back then, or they complained more back then?
You complained less.
They complained less. Would you say they were happier back then, even though it was harder? Would you say those women back then were a lot happier?
They complained less back then. So once again, modern women create the passport, bro. Shout out to my man James Wingate II for that $5 cash out. Thank you, brother James Wingate.
Let me take it back. I'm not saying they didn't have some hard times.
Yeah.
But they appear to be more grateful. Would you say they were more grateful?
Yeah.
Now, do you remember men back then, Dad, that would work and they would send their women off to college? Do you remember the men back then that was while they would work the farm and their wives would go to school to learn how to read and write and be teachers?
I don't know. There's something to watch in college.
So your Aunt Judy, what kind of work? So she had how many kids did she have? Your aunt?
My stepmom.
Your step aunt, yeah.
If I can remember, she had about 7 boys. I think about 7 girls. If I can remember.
How does she work?
Work in the field.
From what time to what time?
Sometimes.
Now, did she cook one time for her family? Or did she?
Ma, I just told you, she cooked 3 times a day. 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
Yeah.
3 times a day. Cook 3 times a day, and y'all ate off the land, right?
Huh?
Y'all ate off the land, meaning you grew all your food on the land. You killed the chickens and the pigs and the cows. You ate off, got the milk probably from the cow.
We didn't have no cows, man.
Right, but you did eat off the land.
Yeah.
Right.
And they cut pine tree and sort of block up like that, and pile split the pine, the block up, the pine wood up, and stack up so the air can go through the drought, and then cook on put the pine wood inside the stove, so that stove be real hot. That pine wood cook the stove, heat the stove up good. Put a pot of bean in there and bits. It won't take long before it cook. Yeah.
So they were overall better women back then.
Yeah.
They were overall better.
Yeah.
When you see men tolerate what men tolerate now, meaning the wives don't cook, they don't clean, they want them to pay all bills, and they've been with a lot of men. What do you say about that?
They ain't no good. No what?
Would you recommend any young man marrying a woman like that?
No. Unless you hate crazy.
If you found out.
Let me tell you something about older people, man. When older people don't lie, older people keep it. When they get older, man, listen, the closer a person gets to standing before God, man, they just wrong. I love my daddy. My dad is a good man. I'll die for my dad if I have to. My dad is an OG. Country boy, good man, hardworking. got to the 11th grade. He didn't go to college like I did, but he's a good man. And my dad was my superhero growing up. I don't. That's why I don't identify with this black dysfunction that you see now. That's why you guys see me going so hard in the paint. Because I remember a time where black women were excellent. I remember a time from the stories of my grandma was saying they were a lot better. They weren't perfect. They had mess back then too. But my aunts won't ran through. My mama won't ran through. Most women back then in the country, they won't ran through. Not saying they won't doing dirt, but most won't ran through. They ran through now. They ran through and they got a lot of entitlement. And they don't want to serve a man.
That one of your kids was not yours. Would you have stayed with my mom and still took care of the child?
No, if I don't mind, I would have stayed with her.
Even if, like say if I wasn't your son, you found out I wasn't your son, and I was 14, and you found out years later she lied, would you have stayed with her or would you have been gone?
No, I just leave.
You gonna let her go?
I think you had been gone.
Right, I don't blame you. Tell me why.
Because she ain't doing them good.
Now, what did you tell me, Dad, about women that been with a lot of men? What would you say? You wouldn't do what? You don't trust them, right?
No.
Because you're afraid they might do what?
You do the same thing.
You think they might cheat?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what I tell a lot of young men now. Women back then, they weren't perfect, but they were a lot better because they work harder, they complain less, and they didn't demand as much. You got women now. I tell folks, you work. Well, how much money did you make back in the day at the lumber mill? You made about $2 an hour, right?
No, I don't quite making that much. Cause in all, a whole week, I probably didn't bring home the money about $50-something.
50-something a week.
$40.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you get good money back then.
Mm-hmm.
You could buy a chicken for about 50 cents.
Buy a chicken for 50 cents?
Yeah, back then. And I remember my stepdad, he had a stove and a soda went for 5 cents.
5 cents, right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I remember that back in the 80s, early 80s or late 70s, I think we were making like $6.20. You got a raise for $6.20. You took care of 4 kids, making how much back then?
Every time I wouldn't need them costs, sometimes if you get profit share, I wouldn't get them on profit. Sometimes it might be about $80.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes $7. But when I went to the warehouse, they're going to start making more money then.
So you remember when you make about $6.30 an hour? You remember that?
Yeah, I'm working to the warehouse.
And you thought you were rich back then?
Yeah, I know I was making good money then.
Because you were bringing home how much back then a week?
What about?
Now, my dad back in the day, guys, probably in the late 70s and early 80s, our house cost us $15,000. My dad could take care of a family of 4, making $6.39. It was a struggle sometimes, but my dad took care of 5 folks on $6. Now watch this. You got a better woman, and there was no such thing called hoflation. You got inflation and you also got hoflation, and you got an inferior product. But they get mad at you, they get mad at me, they get mad at Dr. Taraban, they get mad at men because of men say they want better. They get mad at men because men say they want better, guys. And but yet it's taxation without representation. When men ask for better, they can't get better.
About $400 and $500 a week.
Not 400. You're talking about 3 something, right?
No, sometimes
Well, overtime.
Yeah.
Right. So you could take it. How much did your house cost back in the 70s, in 71?
$75 a month.
How much did it cost you to build it?
My dad mortgage back in the early 70s was $75 a month, guys. $75 a month. $75 a month, guys. That's what my 82-year-old dad was paying. $75 a month. That's all. But you got women that say they don't want a man to pay 50-50. They lazy. They don't nurture a man. They don't respect a man. They don't show men no honor. They've been ran through. They got children by other men. And they damn think by default, because they got a cat, that a man supposed to pay all their bills, but yet they're nowhere near as great as women were back in the day.
About 13, 14,000.
15,000.
15,000.
No. 1,500.
No, it's 15,000. You're right. It was 15,000.
15,000, yeah.
Right, 15,000. You can get a brand new car for how much back then?
No, it was so cheap though.
About 3,500.
Probably so.
Right.
Well, I got all my cars that I bought from the credit union.
So you got better women. You got better women. You had newer cars.
All right, guys. Quiet Storm is correct. He said, he said all your comments are being flagged by YouTube. Use a different word than woke and G word. Use rainbow. Okay. Yeah, make sure y'all do that. Listen to because they will flag your comments. Yep, that's why the sassy guys attacking the passport, bro. You're 100% correct.
And they were more nicer and kind, and they had less damage, and they didn't ask for much. But you got women now, they got more damage, kids by other men, high entitlement. It's a word I created there called hoflation. It's a word I created called hoflation. And they want the best of men, but they want to give a man nothing in return. Don't want to give him nothing in return. don't want to give him nothing in return. So you say you ain't gonna get married no more because you say no one will get your money?
No, my mom. And I got better son getting married again. I'd be a fool. Them got been married for 50-some years and gonna get married again. Shoot, all they do want now is money.
What you
I ain't gonna be stressed out with them woman. Shit, no way.
You gonna be what?
Stressed out with another woman.
You gonna be stressed out?
No.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But suppose she said she'll do everything you tell her to do.
I don't care what she said.
And she said she loved you.
I don't care what she said. I ain't gonna marry.
So you're gonna marry?
I don't live good now. I'm gonna stay living good.
Say it one more time, Pops.
I said I'm living good now. I'm gonna stay
living good. Cause you ain't gonna do what?
I ain't gotta worry about them but myself.
Hey, cause you ain't gonna do what?
Be stressed out with another woman.
They ain't gonna be stressed out with another woman.
He said my dad said he ain't gonna be stressed out. The dealer, my dad used to be about 6 feet, but he shrunk a little bit. My dad has shrunk a little bit, man. He more like daddy probably about like 5'11" and a half with shoes on. he shrunk a little bit, man. But he was about 6 feet when he was younger. 6 feet when he was a young man, but daddy old now. But that's what I remember, guys. I remember women being different. That's why I'm so passionate. And that's why I go hard in the paint for black men. Yeah. That's why I go so hard in the paint, man, for men, white men or black men. My challenge for all men and traditional women that generally want to support their men. I'm not talking about modern women. I show love to traditional women too. But I would never get married to the typical model woman. I wish I would be in a house, in a home, where my woman dictate to me, talking about she's my partner, and we both make laws. We're gonna both make rules. No, sweet, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna be the man in the house. You can give me some input. I might go with your decision. I might not. And if you don't trust my decision, then you're not ready to be my wife. But all this partner mess, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay single. I'm good. I would never settle for this crap, the typical American woman, if I was a single man. But anyway, guys, this has been a good show. I got another good show coming up soon, guys. I want to send a special shout out to the International Quiet Storm and also to the Wall Report. The Wall Report for the $120. He was the #1 sponsor of the stream, followed by Quiet Storm, followed by Gregory Scotland, followed by other brothers that showed some love and support. Man, I really appreciate you guys showing love and being kind. And once again, guys, why does America hate the passport bros? Because they all are Floyd Wallace. All the ones that talk about Floyd Wallace is Floyd Wallace. And once again, guys, we're going to end this stream in a minute. But thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have been very supportive. And I greatly appreciate it, guys. I will be coming back again. I'm going to have a live show with a live panel. I want you guys to come in and strong. I'm going to have a couple of guests on. And we're going to talk about the plantation pirate hate. What it is about. We'll finish playing the rest of the video by Aaron in the second part. And we'll look at some of the thinking errors that many are having to associate with the Passport Bro movement. But guys, y'all did a great job. Merry Christmas. This is the Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. It don't feel like Christmas. But I really appreciate everybody that showed love and support. Thank you, Ray Knows. Thank you, Bashir. Thank you, dear. That's how my husband runs the house, no doubt, dear. I appreciate it. Got it right. It was. Hold on. It was Musk was talking on Joe Rogan that Google had a team that said preventing misgendering Caitlyn Jenner was important than preventing A-bombs. Wow. Yeah, we in a sick world, man. This world's messed up. If all my single friends and relatives could hear this and make the necessary change. Yeah, but we know they ain't gonna do it there. You just gotta stay on the wall, but sure, they ain't gonna do it. but it's okay. Take care of your husband, love him, sweetheart. Take care of your man. Because we're going to take care of women to take care of our men, man. I believe men should take care of their women. But my dad is an old school throwback. He's rare. And them days are gone. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But we're gonna end it, guys, once again. And thank you once again, Quiet Storm. And so, guys, we're going to end it here. Thank you guys for showing love. And I greatly appreciate it, and to everyone that supports you. And guys, do me a favor. I need everybody to hit the like button. To the 34 that are watching, everybody go in and hit that like button. Once you hit the like button, I want you to hit 1. I need you guys to feed the algorithm, because when you hit the like button, it tells the algorithm to push the content.
Hit that like button. Go ahead. Do it now before I reach out into that screen and twist your hand like Aunt Esther. Hit the like button. Thank you.
Destroy. No.
When men fail to lead, the children rebel and the women take over.
Nigga ass, loser ass nigga.
Your video with comments about a
He's a
certain
loser.
other female.
Just to let you niggas know, we don't need y'all. We want y'all, but we don't need you.
20 years later.
Our black men, we want all y'all back. Because we love you, we see you, kings, and most importantly, we need you. And most importantly, we need you.
And most importantly, we need you.
You can't.
If you a that's for the streets.
You can't delete the ski. You can't delete the ski.
Fire. For your mind. Kosher Clinician.
If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. Heaven and hell, that's what they told you. Real men put the strap down and we can toss them. Young heads picking back up and young dolphins. This is our culture. Now we talking kosher. Clinician, masculinity issues. Absent fathers who miss you. Mama drama don't kiss you. All a part of the ritual. This is how they get you. Separate the men, women clipping babies pretend to. Damn. Lovers, haters acting like vultures. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, ain't right, gotta divorce us. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. This is kosher condition. 7 wonders, the whole world gotta listen. Listen. Listen.